Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. It is the final commentary for the 2021-2022 season, and it is a huge match in the fifth tier of English football where the National League playoff final takes place today at the London Stadium. Grimsby Town have a chance to bounce straight back into the Football League if they can beat Solihull Moors, who have never ventured into the Football League in their 14-year history. For Grimsby, they are a side that have taken the headline so far in this season's National League playoffs, as in the quarter-finals against Notts County, they equalised in the 96th minute to take the game to extra time, and then a Diaz Arue 119th minute winner sent them to the semi-finals where they took on Hollywood-owned side Wrexham. And in that game against Wrexham, they played one of the games of the season, maybe even in recent history of non-league, as the game ended 5-4 to Grimsby, once again nicking the game in the 119th minute to take them a step closer to promotion glory. For Solihull, their playoff campaign hasn't been as crazy, but a solid 3-1 victory at home in the semi-finals against Chesterfield, who ran out of steam eventually in the end, gave Solihull their ticket to this playoff final. Grimsby did finish 6th, whereas Solihull finished 3rd, 10 points between the two sides. Solihull have done the league double this season against Grimsby, winning against them at home and also away. Will the winning trend continue for Solihull, or will Grimsby upset the odds and complete their unbelievable playoff campaign with 3 wins out of 3, all coming away from their home stadium? It's a massive game. This game, I really think, could be something special. It is a final. They can be cagey, but we'll see if we can get an open game, because like we see with the Grimsby game against Wrexham in the semi-final of the playoffs, that was something else. It really was. 5-4 it was. Goals galore. It was incredible, but we are here. It is Grimsby Solihull, the final. Wrexham would have been strong favourites to get promoted through the playoffs, but as you saw in that last game, it's never as easy as it seems, the playoffs. Something always goes wrong for teams, always goes a little bit crazy, and that was just the absolute definition of it. I absolutely love the playoffs, and I think this season's National League playoffs have been unbelievable. Even the likes of the games where, not even just the Grimsby games, but the Halifax-Chesterfield game in that quarter-final where it was 2-1. Chesterfield heavily underdogs for that game, and they came through to win 2-1 against the Halifax side who've had a very good season. And then, the two semi-finals, even the Solihull-Chesterfield one, it's pretty simple in the end for Solihull, got the job done, but trailed early on. But obviously, Chesterfield, like I said, in that bit, they just kind of ran out of steam, so Solihull were able just to take over and, get into this final. But I think this is really hard to predict. Solihull come in with better form, probably in terms of like the end of the season, going, losing one in around 23 games is something else. But then Grimsby, with the momentum they've got, playing 240 minutes of football, in a quarter-final, semi-final, the playoffs, that's value, I think. I'd rather be Grimsby, to be honest, than Solihull Moors. I'd rather have the momentum of winning those 2 games in the way they did as well. Grimsby, late equaliser against Notts County, and then a late winner, and then Wrexham, that game just was mental itself. So, but then Solihull finished higher. The 3rd place, not getting promoted, in League 1 and 2, that gets you promoted a top 3 spot. So I think this is ridiculously hard to call, and I'm very excited to be commentating on this game. And kickoff is just under 7 minutes away. If you are new, make sure you like and subscribe. Like I say, this is my plan to be the last commentary of this season. It's been an amazing season once again for football. I've covered loads of leagues. First National League game as well, this will be for me, so I'm excited about that, definitely. Like I say, it's live from the London Stadium as well, which is it's had its fair bit of stick, the National League, with the whole planning of this game, and we'll talk more about that once we get into the game and the game gets going, because it's been the most poorly organised playoff final ever, I think. I've been on Twitter, been following the likes of the Mariners Trust, the Grimsby fans, you might have seen that. My hair's all over the place. The Mariners Trust, who have sorted out so many tickets for fans who genuinely couldn't afford the extortionate prices that it was, 20 quid for children and then 40 quid for adults. Unbelievably high prices with what's going on in the world with the cost of living crisis. So, embarrassing from the league, it really was, but high numbers have travelled, more so for Grimsby. Definitely the bigger club. They've been, founded since 1878, where Solihull Moors was only founded in 2007. So there's a contrast in supporters. Grimsby have bought more, but I'm sure it'll be a cracking atmosphere in that ground with so much on the line. But I'm going to go through the lineups now. We're going to start with the labelled home team as Grimsby, but it's in a neutral venue, so there's no real homes crowd, but they've been labelled as the home stadium. It does look quite packed, to be fair, from the angle of the camera where they're looking on. Obviously behind the camera, I don't think there'll be anyone there as the two sides do walk out. Great moment for the likes of Luke Waterfall, the Grimsby captain, and Kyle Storer, the Solihull Moors captain for today, as they applaud their fans. Some are behind where the camera is, which is great to see. But I'm going to go through the lineups really quickly just before we get into the game. In goal for Grimsby, we've got Max Crocombe, signed in the summer from Melbourne. He is a New Zealand international. Right back is Jordan Cropper, and he was released from the Burnley under-23s and then joined up with Grimsby in March of this year. Luke Waterfall, the captain, plays alongside Andy Smith, who's been on loan from Hull this season from January, and Danny Amos as well also is at left back to make up the back four. Midfield three of Ben Fox, Harry Clifton and Gavan Holohan, the Irish international who was signed from Hartlepool, who won promotion last season with Hartlepool, who was signed from. They went through in quite dramatic circumstances as well in a penalty shootout last year. And they've gone with a front three of Eurico Souza, the right-wing Portuguese international, joined in the summer from Darlington. Ryan Taylor, who scored and came straight off after it in the playoff game against Wrexham. He scored to make it 3-3. And then the main man for Grimsby, the man who's probably going to bring the magic, is John McAtee. You might recognise the last name. He is brother of James McAtee, who's breaking through currently at Manchester City. He's had an unbelievable season, 14 goals in the National League season, then one in the playoffs, which was against Wrexham. It made it 1-1. It was a beautiful strike into the top left corner. But they're very thankful he's made the starting 11, because he did miss a few games with red cards and slight few injuries here and there, but he's in, and then that's unchanged from their semi-final, and also their bench is unchanged as well. Sean Pearson, Arjan Reiki, Jordan Maguire-Drew, Tristan Abrahams, and Emmanuel Diaz-Arue, the hero in the game against Notts County away, where he got the winner in the 190th minute, then also got a goal as well against Wrexham as well. So he's been in the goals, but both of them have been off the bench, so the manager's not changing it here. Paul Hurst, he's keeping Diaz-Arue on the bench despite his goals. They're all coming off the bench, and you want that weapon to come on into the game and to scare the opponents, that's for sure. Solihull lineup is Joe McDonald, brought in on a bit of an emergency loan in May when their first team keeper James Boot was injured, and he's coming from Eastleigh. Had a pretty poor season with Eastleigh in terms of conceding goals, but he's been pretty solid since coming in for Solihull Moors. A back four it is with James Clark, Alex Goodger and Callum Howe, and Harry Boys is in the back four. Alex Goodger and Callum Howe, two centre-backs, both scored in that playoff semi-final against Chesterfield a week ago. Two holding midfielders we think is going to be Cal Storer, the captain, now 35 years of age, and Callum Maycock as well, Birmingham-born midfielder. He'll also play in the midfield. Joe Sabara made it into the National League playoff team of the year just before today. He also got a call for the England C team back in the end of March, where a bunch of non-league English players come together and they played Wales in a friendly. Unfortunately lost. He played half an hour in that game, but he shows the talent he has. He's going to be one of the main sources of energy and talent in the Solihull Moors attacking side today. Right wing, we've gone with Ryan Barnett, who's got the 3 goals this season in the National League, all came over the new year. Andy Dallas, who's been bagging the goals this season for Solihull Moors, especially near the back end. You might have heard he scored 5 in a 5-0 home win against Dover, which is absolutely incredible, which he also won Player of the Month in January for that goal streak that he got. And he will be supporting the main man up front, 6'9", you are not hearing that wrong, 6'9", Kyle Hudlin plays up front. 21 years of age, can score goals. Obviously his height's the main attribute he's got, and let's see if he can add to the goals he's got this season. Kyle Hudlin, only the 4, but he did get 2 against Grimsby this season in a 2-1 away win, which, you know, he can come off the bench, Kyle Hudlin, he can start as well, but with 6'9", he's going to be a danger, and let's see how dangerous he can be for Solihull today. Their bench is Jack Myatt, the young academy goalkeeper, who's on the bench. Reece McNally, Mark Ellis, Callum Riley, and Danny Newton, the striker, also makes it, the 31-year-old. Interestingly to notice, no goalkeeper for Grimsby on their bench. As you can see, I've labelled their position on the bench part of the screen. Very interesting. I think that's very risky. To be fair, Jack Myatt, who's on the bench for Solihull today as the goalkeeper backup, he is quite young. Like I say, he's the first ever player from the Solihull Academy to make the bench for the senior team. But, you know, if Max Crocombe is injured, the Grimsby goalkeeper, they're going to have to put an outfield player on. So let's just see how this goes. Kickoff is very, very close now. A minute away as we are ready to get set on the way in the London Stadium. Thanks to everyone who's here. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. Just before this last commentary of the season. Team huddle for Solihull Moors as they get ready for probably their biggest game in their club's history. Martin Woods is the referee for today's game. He did ref the Solihull match where they went away to now champions Stockport County, where they lost in the very last minute 1-0. And that wasn't the only time he's refed Solihull Moors twice this season. And he also refereed Grimsby once, and it was in a game against Halifax at home. It was a 1-1 draw back in January of this year. So he's had experiences with both sides. The referee, let's hope he has a very solid game. The referee, as it'll be Grimsby kicking from left to right, Solihull Moors from right to left. It'll be Solihull to get us underway with kickoff. Both teams in their home stripes, Grimsby in their black and white, Solihull in their yellow and blue. It's a massive game. It's a ticket back to the Football League. It'll be the first time for Solihull Moors. It'll be a return straight away for Grimsby. We're underway at the London Stadium with Solihull getting us underway. Going back to their centre-halves, Callum Howell on the edge of the 18-yard box across to Gudger. Like I said before the game, both centre-halves scoring for Solihull in their Chesterfield triumph. Let's see how the centre-halves will be important for today's match at the London Stadium. Both northern-based teams having to travel down south on Jubilee weekend. It's been quite the struggle for the fans, and I'll go more into that during the game, but the strong numbers have travelled, and let's hope for them we get a good game, and for half of them, let's see if we can get the right result. As there's number 14 on the ball down the Solihull left-hand side, Harry Boyd loses out, but then wins it back with a strong challenge, and he pokes it towards Kyle Hudlin, who plays Sabara in behind on the left-hand side, getting chased down by a very strong challenge, and the number 32 of Jordan Cropper, who sent in a long throw-in to win the game for Grimsby against Wrexham, where Luke Waterfall got on the long throw-in in the 119th minute to win it. And that was a strong challenge. It was needed because Joe Sabara was getting away there for Solihull Moors. Only 5'6", not the biggest of players, Joe Sabara, but he's full of talent. He really is. He's got 18 goals this season in the National League, which is quite something. He got 7 goals in his first 6 of the campaign, and he's just carried on his good form right throughout. And he has the chance to get in an in-swinging corner here. Both sides attacking opposition fans for this first half. Crossed in, headed on by Gudger in a dangerous area. Callum Howell with the shot, it's blocked. And another corner, first big chance of the game. Falls to Solihull under 2 minutes in. And I said, would the centre-halves have a difference to make? And they've already linked up. Gudger at the near post, flicking it on. Failed clearance from Smith, the centre-half for Grimsby. And it allowed Callum Howell to get a shot away from around 8 yards out. It was blocked by a Grimsby man. And behind for another corner. Big chance. And they go again here, another in-swinging ball. It's a dangerous one. It's won by a Grimsby man. And it's a foul in the process on a Grimsby defender as they can breathe a little bit there. Luke Waterfall, the centre-half, the captain for Grimsby today. The man I think fouled as he was the one who won the header to get the danger away. But there he is, Paul Hurst, the Grimsby Town manager, has been here before at Wembley. He got Grimsby Town promoted back to League 2 in the 2015-2016 season. This is his second spell as manager. He was manager from 2011 to 2016, leaving to go and take on the likes of Shrewsbury, Ipswich, Scunthorpe, and then he's returned again and trying to get them back into the Football League. As it is Solihull with the early parts of the possessions. They've got it up to Kyle Hudlin again. He's tackled strongly by number 4, Ben Fox, who had a terrific game away at Wrexham, I thought, watching that game. The holding midfielder for Grimsby. He likes to just sit in between the two centre-halves, Ben Fox, and he'll be doing that role again. There's a long ball up by Grimsby. Fell straight to the opposite goalkeeper, number 18, Joe McDonnell. But there is number 4, Ben Fox. As the ball goes, Luke Waterfall as Kyle Hudlin, and Luke in the air to try and bring the ball down, and Luke Waterfall's gone with his head, so his head's almost nicked off his boot, but nothing too serious. Game can get back underway, but he will be a handful, definitely, Kyle Hudlin. Like I say, 6'9". You're not hearing that wrong. 6'9", the number 27. It's absolutely bonkers, that height for a striker. Definitely what you could call a target man. As the ball goes diagonal towards the right-hand side, towards Enrico Souza for Grimsby. He can't quite keep it in, and it'll be a throw-in towards the left-back area for Solihull Moors. With the number 14, Harry Boyes, on loan from Sheffield United for this season. Looking for his options. Not much movement from the boys in yellow and blue as he throws it down the line. Header won by Enrico Souza, helped on by Sabara, and it breaks for Andy Dallas, number 19. He takes on Waterfall with ease. He's breaking down the left-hand side. Ben Fox trying to recover. He tries to pull it back. It's deflected. It'll fall to Waterfall, the Grimsby captain, and Grimsby can clear. Again, Solihull having the better chances, but here's Grimsby getting away on the counter-attack. Enrico Souza on the right, heavy touch, and he allows the tackle from Callum Howe, and that'll be a throw-in for Grimsby. Already a lively game, just hitting the 5th minute. Solihull on the counter on their left with some great skill. He's been a real pivotal player. Down the tried the pull back, but it came off the boot of Andy Smith, the centre-half. And then Grimsby tried to attack with Enrico Souza, but he was blocked by Callum Howe. And like I said just before, Jordan Cropper is about to take a long throw-in. One of these in the playoff semi-final. Big save needed from McDonnell as the throw-in went in. It was flicked on by striker Ryan Taylor. And it came off, I think, the boot of Kyle Hudlin, the striker, who's coming back to do his defensive work. Came back towards the keeper, and he had to make a good reaction save. Nearly an own goal there for the big striker. That's not the goal he's wanting to get the ball into tonight, that's for sure. Very unlucky. Like I say, Jordan Kropp, he's got a proper, long, electric throw-in. Can get real pace on it. And it's nearly came off there for Grimsby. Like I said, flicked on. And let's see a replay here. Throwing towards the near post, it was flicked on. I don't think it came off anyone, actually. Like I said, the striker, Ryan Taylor, did go for it, the Grimsby man. It came off Harry Boyes instead, deflected off the knee of Kyle Hudlin, and it was needed, that save, just down to his right there, the goalkeeper. Kyle Hudlin probably had his heart in his mouth there, coming off his knee. Didn't really know too much about it, just bounced off him and went towards goal. And like I say, Joe McDonnell was needed to keep it out for Solihull. Still 0-0. Great start to the game as we're in the battle in midfield here. Ben Fox does win it ahead of Callum Maycock. And they try and get away down the left-hand side here. Grimsby in the box. Number 15, Harry Clifton. Plays it to Amos, the left back. Back to Clifton on the left. Swings it in with a right boot. Callum Howe has to head away. Up towards Hudlin, who gets the better of Smith. But it falls to Waterfall as he gets it forward. It's number 10, John McAtee, the magician. The man who can get the crossing towards the far post, towards Clifton, who can't quite knock it back inside. As it stayed in, it swung back in. And it's a goal kick for Solihull. But I'm surprised that swung back in. That got some proper curl on it there from John McAtee, who just drifted over to the right-hand side, a little bit deeper, getting the ball. Actually swung it in. Clifton was definitely onside at the far post. He missed it, but the ball didn't go out of play. It swung back in. But eventually Solihull Moors won the goal kick. And here's Alex Gudger with a long left-footed ball over the top, looking for Kyle Hudlin, who can get in behind here. It's going to be a sweeper-keeper job for Crocombe as he slices out of play. And Kyle Hudlin, with his pace for 6'9", he's pretty quick, forcing Max Crocombe to have to slice the ball out. And Solihull Moors have a throw-in quite deep inside the Grimsby half. Like I said, great start to the game. 8 minutes in, sometimes playoff finals you can get a little bit cagey, but this game's been fantastic so far as Harry Boyes transport down the left-hand side. Enrico Souza is the man to intercept. So thanks to everyone. If you could like and subscribe if you're new, that'd be fantastic. As Harry Boyes gets the return from the throw-in. Not really being closed down here, and he can play it into Sabara on the edge of the box. His first shot's blocked, and he lays it off just to his right to the number 2. Clark. Pull back in. Has to be dealt with here. Just about gets rid of it. And down the left they go here, Grimsby. And John McAtee picks it up from the clearance. Gets it inside here to Clifton. Just about enters the Solihull half. Gets it up into Ryan Taylor, the hold-up striker. Not quite 6'9", but he can hold it up with his height. And he brings Ben Fox into play for Grimsby. Here is number 28, Gavin Holohan. Actually signed later on in the season from Hartlepool on a free. He's been here last season with Hartlepool, who he joined from. He got promotion through the playoffs with Dave Challoner as manager. He then moved on to Stockport County and won the league with them. That's sloppy in the midfield there from Clifton. Gives it to Solihull Moors, and a player you don't want to give it to is Sabara, who he tries to slip through Andy Dallas, just about intercepted though by Jordan Cropper. Grimsby are in possession again with Ben Fox, up to Taylor. Too slow on it, picked off by Callum Howe. It's now with the right-hand side here for Solihull Moors. As he goes inside to Alex Gudger. Been at the club now for 4 years, joined in 2018 from Brackley. Alex Gudger did get a goal in the playoffs against Chesterfield. Got Solihull ahead in that game, making the game 2-1. Just having some settled possession here, Solihull Moors in their back line. They do get it forward to Sabara, who's just dropping slightly deeper for the ball, the number 7. I'm sure if Solihull Moors don't go up, Joe Sabara will be getting sniffed at by some Football League clubs. Head away by Cropper from a long Solihull ball. Flip forward towards McAtee from Holohan. Loses out. Headed forward towards Hudlin. Forces a clearance from Smith, the Grimsby defender, and it'll be a Grimsby throw-in here as Clark's asking for the throw-in. But it goes the other way. He thought Grimsby man in Clifton got a nick on it. Thanks to everyone who's here. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Some great numbers in the stream already. Got some Solihull fans and some Grimsby fans in the chat. Make sure you let me know your predictions. We've got a 2-1 already in the chat. As the ball does slip to Sabara from the throw-in. He gets it out wide right. Towards Barnett. Down the right channel it goes. Andy Dallas will give chase, but it's Smith to get there first. Play back to his goalkeeper, Crocombe. Just about works it to Cropper at right back as Kyle Hudlin was chasing him down. Here's Holohan again. Back to Cropper, the number 32, the right back, right in front of his manager, Paul Hurst. He tries a ball down the right-hand side towards Rico Souza, but the Portuguese was nowhere near it and can be given back to Solihull Moors in their own half as they work back to their own keeper, Joe McDonnell. Does have Football League experience himself, the goalkeeper. Has made 19 League One appearances in his time with Wimbledon. Those 19 appearances did come through the span of 3 years, from 2016 to 2019. And here is Callum Howe. Ball forward into Clark, the right back for Solihull. Ball inside. Does find Barnett very nicely, the right winger, the number 11. Tries to take on Smith. Goes the long way round. Gets a cross in. Goes above everyone, but it can be picked up at the far post here. And it can be relayed into Harry Boyes, the left back for Solihull. Storer, the captain, the experienced Solihull man. Chips it back out to Barnett on the right. He tries another cross, aiming for Hudlin. Misses him out completely, and it can fall to Rico Souza, the right winger, who's just getting back towards the right back area, and he gives it away. Pass intercepted by Sabara into Andy Dallas. Free kick on the edge of the box. Brought down there. He's trying to lead his innocence there. I think Jordan Cropper, the right back who's caught out of position. Yeah, definitely cynically just caught Dallas there, knowing he was getting in behind. Had to take him out. Not sure if it's a booking for Cropper. He's definitely getting a talking to by the referee today, Martin Woods. Like I say, Rico Souza got it in the right back area, tried to play it inside. It was easily intercepted by Sabara, and his touch fell to Andy Dallas, who tried to break on the left-hand side. And unfortunately, Jordan Cropper had to bring him down, or it could have been a bit more dangerous for Grimsby. But the danger might not have ended yet, because it is a free kick for Solihull in a dangerous area. Boyes and Sabara is over it, so they've got a left-footed and a right-footed option. Maybe a shot could be taken on. Definitely more suited for a cross. It's a left-footed cross right the way through, and it had to be headed behind by Ben Fox, the number 4 for Grimsby. Corner kick for Solihull. Left-footed in-swinging ball it was. No, out-swinging ball, sorry. And this time we're probably going to be getting an in-swinging corner here. Joe Sabara again. This is going to be corner number 3 for Solihull. All coming from this Solihull left with the right boot for Sabara. He clips it towards the far post. Header won by Callum Howe, and it's just past the post. Not far away once again from a corner. 2 minutes in, Solihull came close from a corner. This time again with Callum Howe. They've nearly scored. He got up at the far post. Beat Andy Smith at the far post, who's having a bit of a poor game so far, the man on loan from Hull. And Solihull manager Neil Ardley just looking away there as the ball whiskered past the post. But it's a positive start for Solihull, definitely having the better chances. But then once again, Grimsby came close with that deflected shot by Kyle Hudlin. Came off his knee. The Solihull man nearly scored an own goal. So chances for both, but I think Solihull just on top for the first 15 minutes of this match. But football can change easily and very quickly. It's from the goal kick. It's headed away by Callum Howe, and it can be held up by Hudlin. He works into Kyle Storer, the captain. Kyle Hudlin stayed down, but they continue their build-up with Joe Sabara on the far left, just going back to Alex Gudger as the play just calms down a little bit. With the number 6, the centre-half, Alex Gudger goes back to Joe McDonnell. Like I say, signed on an emergency loan from Eastleigh at the end of the season. He joined Eastleigh from Notts County in August of 2020. The goalkeeper. So does have high pedigree with some of the clubs he played for. The goalkeeper, despite being kind of thrown into high-pressure games at the end of the season for Solihull Moors. Oh, it's a misplaced ball. Really poor from Barnett there to Kyle Storer. He has to try and recover the winger, and he does really well. Wins the free kick from John McAtee, but he had to there. The right winger, Solihull Moors, Ryan Barnett, a bit like Rico Souza a few minutes ago for Grimsby, just a short ball, trying to find a ball inside, and Grimsby tried to break there with John McAtee, but like I say, he had to, Ryan Barnett, and he did. He recovered with a good challenge, and he won a free kick for his side. Great numbers, by the way. If you could all like and subscribe, last commentary of the season, could do with the numbers going up into the likes and subscribing, because I'll be having a little bit of a break from commentaries with the season being over. Might do an international commentary, unsure on that. Might do one of the England Nations League games, but for club football, definitely this is obviously the last commentary of the season. So we're back underway. Grimsby have already won it back from the Solihull free kick that they got in their own half. It's Ben Fox, the number 4, goes across to Holohan. McAtee, the danger man, is playing it back to Andy Smith, the centre-half, 6 foot Banbury-born centre-half. He's on the ball again. Blonde centre-half. Quite bright hair. Can't miss him out. Ball swung forward and in behind towards Souza. Nodded down by Boys, the left back for Solihull, and it does fall to a man in yellow and blue, and that's Joe Sabara. Battling with McAtee, and he gets the better of the Grimsby midfielder, and he works it to the right-hand side to Barnett. Safe pass this time to Clark, forward to Storer. Heavy touch, just about shifts it over, and it's a great switch out to the left to Andy Dallas. What a ball from Storer, despite stretching for it. It's a great ball, goes for the overlap to Boys, a short ball. It can be tackled by Jordan Cropper. Throwing for Solihull. Had to be a better ball, that from Andy Dallas, as he had his left back storming forward on the overlap. Like I said, I was just a bit worried this might have been a bit of a cagey game with having so much importance, but I think it's been a really open first 17 minutes. And it'll be the left back Boys with the throw-in for Solihull Moors. Throws into Storer, the captain, gets the return and takes on Souza. Trying to work space for a cross, but lays it off into Andy Dallas instead. Everything to his right. As a couple of players are in the box. He's trying to work across, but he's been worked all the way back to the halfway line to Callum Howe. As he'll try the right-hand side now with James Clark. Ball forward towards Maycock. Finds Barnett, the winger. Storer, again taking too long on it, the captain, but just about keeps it alive. And away from McAtee. And he loses out in the end. Runs out of room on the right-hand side. Good work from Ben Fox and McAtee to force the Solihull captain out of room and out of play. Had a bit of a chance there on the left-hand side, but good pressing from Grimsby, forcing them back. And then winning the ball. And it's to Max Crocombe. the Grimsby Town goalkeeper missed the first 17 games of the season, Max Crocombe, because James McCowan, who's still contracted to Grimsby, the Irish international, who kind of fell out of touch. Paul Hurst said there was no bad feeling between the two people, the manager and the goalkeeper, but he played the first 17 games, James McCowan, and then that was it. He's not played a game since in the league, and I'm sure he'll be frustrated. Funnily enough, his last appearance, the goalkeeper, was against Solihull Moors in a 2-0 defeat. He's got over 470 appearances for Grimsby as well. James McCowan, the goalkeeper, he's been at the club for 11 years, and a bit of a sour ending to his Grimsby career, which I find a little bit upsetting, to be honest. But Max Crocombe's come in. He's been a solid pair of hands, 8 clean sheets in the National League this season. None in the playoffs. Definitely not one against Wrexham, that's for sure, when he conceded 4 goals. But they scored 5, so I don't think he minded conceding that many. Alex Goodger at the back for Solihull forces it to Joe McDonnell, the goalkeeper for Solihull. Now Callum Howe. Got a couple of options. I think he'll go long up towards Kyle Hudlin, and he will aim for the 6'9" striker. He can't find, headed back towards his own goalkeeper by Gavan Holohan, and he does find his goalkeeper. Nicely done there. Luke Waterfall occupying Hudlin, and then that allowed Holohan to snip in and headed back to his goalkeeper, and he's got the return. He's found a great ball breaking the lines. Great ball from Holohan, finding Clifton, who then found McAtee, working out wide right to Souza. On the right-hand side in the final third, looks for the cross in the box, does get to it. Callum Howe heads away. And Holohan again looking for a shot on the edge of the box, blocked and cleared, and throwing for Grimsby. Two 2-0 crazy prediction. Moors are bound to score at one point. We'll see. Everyone's allowed their opinion on a score prediction. Let's see who's correct. As Ben Fox on the left gets away from Hudlin and gets the ball inside towards McAtee, just gets stuck under his feet, and that can be taken away. And here we go with Solihull counter-attack. It's Andy Dallas setting the scene for the counter-attack. We've tried to take on Holohan, but that's not allowed. Couldn't take on the Irishman. It's back in the possession of Grimsby Town. Could have done with finding a pass there. Fox zipping the ball towards the left-hand side. It will find Harry Clifton. Got the overlap of his left-back, Danny Amos. And it will get to him now through Ben Fox. Opens up the body, finds a low cross towards Clifton, goes through him, nearly finding McAtee. Had to be cleared in the end out of the Solihull box, but they will come again. Fox, ball round the corner, left-hand side, brought down by Clifton. Nudged in the back by Jack Clark, and that will be a free kick given by the referee. Great position for a free kick on the left-hand side. Harry Clifton waiting for the contact in his back, and like I say, just a silly challenge there from Jack Clark, the right back. 2 hands right in the back, pushing him over. That's always going to be a free kick. James Clark. Sorry, I think I called him Jack Clark there. James Clark, I do apologise. Started the season at Mansfield in League 2, then joined Solihull in November on loan, and then signed permanently in March. So his free kicks giving Grimsby a good chance. They use set pieces really well against Wrexham. It's a left-footed ball deep into the box, headed away at the far post by Solihull's James Clark, who gave away the free kick. He was the one who headed it away. Recycled though by Grimsby. It's out to Souza on the right. In the box, it's played into. Cross by Cropper off the knee of Goodger, still alive. Souza can't quite bring it down successfully. Pinball in the box. Jordan Cropper brought down. Nothing given by the referee. Cropper challenged. Solihull clear. No penalty kick given. I'd see a replay on that one. I'm not too sure. Just like both players collided, going for the ball. But then it's out again to Eriko Souza. What a ball on the right. He's going to charge down that wing. Ball in towards Taylor. Deflects to the edge of the box. It's hit first time. And no corner. Harry Clifton struck it. He wants a corner. Referee's given a goal kick. Like I said, Rico Souza got it on the right. Got the cross in towards Taylor. He missed out. Callum Howe got the clearance in. It fell to Clifton, who just swiped at it, sliced it. But here's the penalty shout. No, acrobatic for me. Let's have a look again. Has to be careful there, Callum Maycock, the midfielder for Solihull, because he's gone for the ball, not knowing what's coming behind him. And Cropper did come and steal in, but I think he's tried to make too much of it. This Grimsby right back to win the penalty. A bit acrobatic for me. Probably the right decision from the ref. Come on, Grimsby behind there right now. It does look like a good solid amount of people have come, especially from the Grimsby side, but Solihull have also travelled in good numbers, to be fair. Not had the highest of attendances, Solihull Moors, this season, with their average spectators being just over 1,700 at home, which isn't much. Away, they played under double. They played in front of double that on average. They played in front of around 3,500 away in away games. So they are more used to, going to away matches and having to face up to the bigger crowds that they don't usually play in front of. McAtee nips in on the left. Trying to take it away from Clark, but he ran out of room on the Grimsby left, so that'll be a throw-in for Solihull. They are just having a look at this penalty again. He does clip Cropper. There is a shout for a penalty. I'm not sure. Like I say, didn't see what was coming from the right-hand side. I think for the referee, it's one of them. If he's not sure, I don't think he can give it. And I don't think he was sure, so, he didn't give it. And 25 minutes in, we've had big chances for Solihull. We've had a near-own goal scored in the favour of Grimsby. Penalty claim. So it's been a very good start to the game. Very exciting for fifth tier of English football, the National League final. Here's Clark with the throw-in, the right back for Solihull. Throw in towards Hudlin, heads it into the box where Andy Smith, the Grimsby centre-half, will leave it for Max Crocombe to roll it out into Fox, the midfielder. On the edge of the 18-yard box, he's played it to Luke Waterfall, and Jordan Cropper loses concentration. Ball rolls under his foot. Throw in for Solihull in the Grimsby half, and it will be taken by Boys, the left back. Throws it back to the halfway to Gudger. And he goes across to his partner in crime, Callum Howe. Played down the line to Barnett, the right winger, trying to drive inside. Followed all the way, though, by left back Amos for Grimsby. Does find Clark. Maycock tried to go around the corner towards Barnett, who'd made the run down the right. Couldn't quite find him, just behind the winger. And throwing it is in the left back area for Grimsby with left back Danny Amos, the Northern Irish international. 18 league appearances for Grimsby this season, only 3 losses in those 18. Throw-in won by Howe, headed back forward by Holohan, sliced back towards Gudger, headed forward by Fox, brought down by McAtee on the left, played back to Amos as Grimsby are in possession in their own half, with Luke Waterfall scoring the winner against Wrexham in that 5-4 win in the semi-final. He was a former Wrexham player himself, Luke Waterfall, back in 2015. Actually scored for Wrexham in his last appearance for them. He was only there for 6 months, from January to July. He's on the ball again, the captain, Waterfall. Diagonal ball towards Taylor. Header won by Howe again, the Solihull defender winning a lot of headers so far. And clearance up towards Hudlin, lost out to Smith. And that's an awful pass from Grimsby back to their defence. Andy Dallas in the box on the left, cuts onto his right. Strikes deflected, what a save! Still alive, had to be headed behind by Andy Smith. What a save from Crocombe, that is. Big deflection on it. He had to spring his right arm up to save it. Andy Smith, though, headed it forward to Ben Fox, who played it back towards nobody. And it was a pretty good through ball in the end, actually, for Dallas, who, from the left-hand side, cut onto his right foot. He got the shot away, deflected off Cropper, and it's a great save. He was already going down towards his left there, Crocombe, but he had to get a right arm up in the air to save that shot. Great save from the New Zealand international, and we're still at 0-0, but Solihull definitely having the big chances. It's going to be an in-swinger, left foot, towards the far post. Hudlin jumps for it. It's punched away by Crocombe, the goalkeeper, and there could be a counter-attack on here for Grimsby. On the right-hand side with Holohan. Deflected ball down the right. Can be picked up by Clark. Played inside to Howe for Solihull. Tries to turn Fox, who nearly give the assist to Dallas for that goal. We're back in Solihull possession. With Sabara driving forward into the Grimsby half, looking for an option. Goes to his left to James Clark, who's having to just fill in at left back for now, as they've still not got back in proper positions since the corner. Solihull Moors. Down the line it goes to Storer. Brought down with the chest of Andy Dallas, who's also drifted from one side to the other. He's down the right-hand side. Tried to bring Ryan Barnett into play, but played it just behind him, and that'll be a throw-in for Grimsby as Neil Ardley watches on. Former player himself, the Solihull manager, played in a defensive midfield position. Coming up to 50 years old in September. Did win a League Two playoff with Wimbledon in his time as a manager. Has 3 National League Manager of the Month awards as well in his time. Long throwing down the line, flicked on by Taylor by Grimsby. Only as far as the scuff clearance from Gudger, so that'll be another throw-in for Grimsby, which will be taken by Danny Amos. But I found a stat the other day which I found quite interesting. It was an all-time National League standings table. So when it was rebranded to the National League, I think, or it was a 5th-tier table, and in the all-time standings, Grimsby are 40th with 536 points, and Solihull Moors were 53rd with 401 points, which I found quite interesting. And that was a table out of 121 teams. So both have quite the history in the 5th tier, even though Grimsby have spent the majority of their history in the Football League. If they could have a chance here to get back forward with a goal. Enrico Souza in the box, trying to shift it onto his right foot. Can be collected by Joe McDonnell, heavy touch, but that was unlucky. For Grimsby getting forward again, they'll probably admit Solihull's had the bigger chances, but they've got forward themselves on plenty of occasions, Grimsby Town. Like I say, if you are watching the game and we want to use my commentary instead, I am, let me see, how far behind am I? I'm literally 2 seconds, 3 seconds behind, so you can link up the commentary if you want. How many fans at the game? I can't give you an exact number, but last time I checked, Grimsby sold just over 13,000 tickets. Not sure the numbers for Solihull. I didn't read anything on Twitter with their numbers, so I'm not too sure, to be honest. But if Grimsby bought 13,000 some tickets just for the general public, I'd say just over 20,000, maybe just under 20,000, around that number, I want to say. But I'm sure we'll get an official attendance number anyway. But the last time Grimsby were in the National League playoff final was in 2015-2016 after finishing 4th place. And they beat Forest Green Rovers 3-1 in the final. They scored 2 quick-fire goals from Omar Bogle. Scored in the 42nd and 43rd minute. Literally scored 1, kicked off. Forest Green gave the ball away. Grimsby got it back forward and scored again. It was crazy. And that was under current manager Paul Hurst. He did get them that motion. And the attendance for that game at Wembley was 17,198. So I'm presuming it might be a similar number this time as well for Grimsby, as Gudger just caught late there by John McAtee, and that will be a free kick for Solihull. Just went right through the back of him there, but unfortunate for McAtee to give the free kick away, because Gudger was the kind of the player who instigated it, because he got the ball stuck under his feet, which allowed McAtee to come in behind and try and nick the ball off him. Paul Hurst says in the pre-match to this game, we've got a good squad. I've had to leave players out. That would be in most teams 16 in our league. That's for sure. So he understands how strong and how privileged he is to have quite a strong team, not just starting 11, but also on the bench, and even players that haven't even made the squad for this playoff final. But it's unchanged. Both sides unchanged from their semi-finals. And Grimsby have won the ball in midfield, and they can counter-attack in the Solihull half. Ball played out to Enrico Souza again on the right. He's got a few crosses in. Can this one be the one to come to a goal? It's deflected to the far post. Clifton lays it off. Holohan strikes, deflects. Comes out towards Sousa. It'll be Gudger to get there first, and he hooks it away with the left boot. Good chance again for Sousa to get a cross in, and Hudlin, he beats Waterfall to it. Hudlin strides forward on the counter-attack. Needs to release it. Doesn't do it quick enough, and it's a great challenge from the left-back, Danny Amos, who stayed down. The ball deflected from Amos to his goalkeeper. And Hudlin, you can see he's quite unorthodox on the ball, just with his height. Grimsby's medical team is being allowed to come on there as Danny Amos. Ooh, penalty shout there, big time. As the cross came in from Sousa, it deflected to the far post to McAtee, who took a heavy touch. He laid it off into Clifton, who then laid it off into Holohan, who had the shot. But that layoff from McAtee, as he poked it to Clifton, he was trodden on by Storer, the captain, on the ankle. That's a definite shout for a penalty. And that's Grimsby now. We've had 2 penalty shouts waved away by the referee, but I think that's definitely the stronger one. Like I say, far post it came to him. McAtee brought it down heavily, so he had to stretch for the ball. And as he stretched for it, he got there first. And he got his ankle trodden on by Kyle Storer. That's definitely a shout for a penalty, but it's not given. And here's the tackle from Danny Amos on Kyle Hudlin. He tackled Kyle Hudlin and he's come out worst. He is back on his feet, though. He's just moving very gingerly, hobbling quite worryingly, as he just collided with the big 6'9" striker. They're showing this penalty again. Like I say, heavy touch from McAtee on the left in the box. Pokes it away. I'm going to lean towards, I think that's a penalty. Trodden on his ankle by Kyle Storer, who went in wildly with a big slide tackle. I think that's a penalty. Like I say, with the comment coming in from Andrew Bailey there, he says, why they're not using VAR as West Ham have it. There is no VAR. There is no video assistant referee in today's game. Like I say, it is used in the Premier League for West Ham, so there is a question of why they didn't use it. But like I say, the whole season, the playoffs, the normal National League season obviously doesn't have VAR, so maybe that has a reason for it. I don't know what the National League's thinking was, but they've just not used it, so I have to take that for what it is and get on with it. But 2 big penalty shots for Grimsby waved away as they are getting forward again here as we're back underway. Not sure if Danny Amos, the left-back's back on, as we are forward with Grimsby in the box. Misplaced touch from McAtee, and it can be cleared in the end by Dallas. And Amos is back on as he heads it down here to Ben Fox on the halfway. Moving a little bit more freely, the left-back Danny Amos, which is good to see, as a ball down the right-hand side has found John McAtee, the number 10 for Grimsby. Tries to play Taylor in behind, he touches it for Holohan, who gets the strike at goal. It's an easy save straight down the throat of Joe McDonnell, but it's a good build-up of play there from Grimsby. Working the ball into McAtee, who was allowed to turn and get forward and look forward for a pass, and he found Ryan Taylor, the experienced striker, who then laid it off into Holohan, whose shot was, like I say, straight at McDonnell, as Grimsby come at again. Left back, Danny Amos trying to get forward, losing out to Barnett, the Solihull right winger. Lays off to Maycock, back into Barnett again. Good 1-2. Back inside towards Maycock. Tackle fairly and strongly by Holohan. What a challenge from the midfielder. And they get it forward again with Amos on the left-hand side. Gets a cross in, deflects off Howe, the centre half. And he can play it calmly into Sabara, into Dallas on the left. And Solihull back in possession on the edge of the 18-yard box for clearance from Gudger, looking for Kyle Hudlin. He's putting Waterfall under pressure, hooks it over his head. Clears for Grimsby, up towards Cropper. He can't get the header on it. So it's Solihull again. Being forced back with Boys, who's been pushed down. Quite a pretty silly challenge there by Rico Sousa. Just gifted Solihull a free kick there to ease the pressure, because they were being forced back to their own goal there, that's for sure. Like I say, if you are new, please like and subscribe. That would help me out massively for this National League playoff final. I know loads of you in here aren't subscribed, so just help me out if you could and subscribe. So that free kick has been taken straight onto the head of Luke Waterfall as Grimsby can clear. Flicked on by Sousa, and it falls to McAtee. Chance here for Grimsby on the counter. It's been held up by the midfielder, and what a ball in behind for Sousa. In the box, ball across to the far post, big chance. Oh, onto the roof of the net. Harry Clifton with a huge chance coming in at the far post. Again, it was well worked from Grimsby. McAtee linking up the play, finding Rico Sousa in behind, who's had quite a few crosses on that right-hand side. Not many of them have come off. That's definitely been his best one. Played in behind, catching out Callum Howe, the centre-half. He gets it across. It should be a simple tap-in from 3 yards out. He couldn't get over the ball. He lifted it over the crossbar. It was a weak, poor attempt in the end. And Solihull are definitely breathing a sigh of relief, but they come again. Sousa on the edge of the box. Good skill in the box on the right. Trying the shot. Stings the gloves of the goalkeeper. And in the end, he falls on the ball as he keeps it in his grasp. Not sure how that attack came through because they were showing replays of the one just before. But Sousa getting a shot away. Saved in the end by Joe McDonnell. Like I say, great first half of this playoff final so far. Both teams having very equal chances so far. Luke Waterfall heads away for Grimsby. Held on by the volley of Ben Fox. Headed on by Storer. And once more by Hudlin towards the edge of the 18-yard box for Grimsby. It's been sliced back to his own keeper by Andy Smith there to Crocombe. Very lucky that fell to his keeper. He's been a bit nervy so far, I think, Andy Smith. The centre-half on loan from Hull's under 23s. Has got a contract at Hull till 2023, so he's got 1 year left on that contract. He did spend the first half of the season at Salford, but didn't get much game time. Only made 4 appearances for the League Two side until coming to Grimsby in January. But, and it finds him as well. Cropper, the right back, got forward for Grimsby. Finds Sousa on the overlap. Can't have the space for the cross. Runs out of room. The ball doesn't go down to play though. Left back for Solihull can clear down the left-hand side towards Hudlin. Held back forward by Waterfall, and it's Grimsby in possession again. Ben Fox striding forward, trying to play McAtee in behind. And he does get it from Gudger. Tries to flick it up towards goal. Easy catch in the end for McDonnell. I've got something from my eye. There we go. Sorry, I had something in my eye. Couldn't see then. But yeah, McAtee on the edge of the box trying to scoop it. I'm not sure what he tried to do. It didn't look like a scoop towards one of his players because it was too hardly hit for that. Storer heads forward in the midfield for Solihull towards Kyle Hudlin, who commits a foul on Fox, the number 4, as he tries to win the ball aerially for his side. Out to right back, Jordan Cropper. Lays off into Sousa. It's halfway into the Solihull half. Cropper, good 1-2. Sousa gets it and the linesman decides it's gone out of play there. Cropper was really spreading the pitch there. Could not get any more out to the far right-hand side. Paul Hirsch is asking if that's actually a throw-in. A little bit of hesitancy from the linesman. He's having a discussion with fourth official Tom Parsons. So throw-in for Solihull Moors in their own half. It's been a long one down the left-hand side by Boys up towards Hudlin, who does flick on. Finds Andy Dallas. Plays it inside nicely to Sabara, who's been a little bit quiet for the second half of this first half, but he gets it out wide to Barnett on the right in the box, goes the long way round, tries to clip a ball in, deflects off Amos. It's going to be a corner kick for Solihull Moors. Good work there from Ryan Barnett. Joined from Shrewsbury on a free in the summer after a 1-month spell at Solihull at the back end of last season, where they did finish 11th in the season. Solihull Moors going from 64 points last season to achieving 87 this season. Really transformed by the appointment of Neil Ardley, the manager. You know, I said in the build-up to this game that the final will be great, and I did say that Grimsby have been unbelievable, so he does respect the opposition as they nearly get one there with Solihull's... Oh, here we go. Max Crocombe tries to set Grimsby away early with a kick, and he gets blocked off by the Solihull captain, Kyle Storer. He left one on the goalkeeper. But that all came from an in-swinging corner that Solihull won from Ryan Barnett on the right-hand side. Not much in it at all. Just ran across the keeper to try and block the quick quick kick out of his hands. Nothing much in it, nothing more than just a free kick, because he did stop a quick counter-attack for Grimsby. Definitely feeling a bit of the contact there. The goalkeeper, Grimsby goalkeeper Max Crocombe, who was born in Auckland of New Zealand, did make 2 appearances for his national side back in 2018. He's been at 9 English clubs, including Salford, which he was in the squad for the 18-19 playoff win that they got at Wembley. So he has tasted promotion before. And he's going to take the free kick he won just inside his own box. Going to try and get it into the Solihull half for his team to try and get something from, but he's drilled it towards the left-hand side where no one was. And it's going to be a throw-in for Solihull. Bit of a strange one. Everyone had drifted towards the right-hand side, and he just drilled it along the ground on the left and pretty much give Solihull the throw-in for free, which I find a bit strange, but Solihull won't be complaining. James Clark throwing down the line. Falls to Hudlin, who hooks it forward. Header won by Andy Smith as it goes towards Ben Fox. Header won by Storer, only as far as the Grimsby man of Holohan. Brings McAtee to play, works out wide right to Jordan Cropper. We've got an attack on here for Grimsby. Lays it off into Sousa. Gets the overlap Cropper, but Sousa will go on his own with a cross towards the far post. And Joe McDonnell with a great catch there, the Solihull goalkeeper. Had to win it because Harry Clifton, who's playing on the left-hand side position, was coming in there to try and nick the ball and maybe get a pull back in, as it was a tight angle on the far post. Callum Howe clips up towards Hudlin, wins the header as far as Amos, and Andy Smith helps out on the left-hand side for Grimsby, kept in by Clifton. Ball forward up towards Ryan Taylor, blocked off by Storer, played forward to Maycock. Halfway is James Clark, goes across to the captain Kyle Storer, who brings it forward into the feet of Dallas. Back into Storer. Swung a ball to the left and he brings it down here. Harry Boys, well worked here by Solihull. Dink ball, edge of the box, chested down by Dallas on the left in the box. Andy Smith for company, plays into Sabara, who works across. Hudlin with the header! Breakthrough for Solihull! As we hit the 45th minute, we've got the first goal in the playoff final. The number 27, the 6'9" striker, who gives Solihull the lead in the playoffs. We've just been given an additional minute of added on time, and as that's been indicated, Solihull have scored. Great ball out wide by the captain Kyle Storer to Harry Boys, who dinked a ball to the chest of Andy Dallas on the left-hand side of the box, laid off into the support act of Joe Sabara, who just lifted it, drifted it into the 18-yard box, and just on the penalty spot, Kyle Hudlin, who aerially just cannot be dealt with, gets up the highest, beats Danny Amos, the left back, in the air, heads it down into the ground, bounces beyond the outstretched goalkeeper of Max Crocombe. And it's playoff pandemonium for Solihull just before half-time, and it is Grimsby 0, Solihull Moors 1, and that could be a massive goal in the outcome of this playoff final. Right before half-time, that's a real low blow for Grimsby Town, who haven't been that bad in the first half. It's been a pretty equal playoff final so far, but when you've got a man like Kyle Hudlin, who's so tall and can be so dangerous aerially, and you can exploit that like they just did, that's where you can get your goals from. Kyle Hudlin, he won Young Player of the Year last season. He got top goal scorer last year as well with 11 in all competitions. He also got goal of the season as well, so he really wiped the awards last season, and now this season he could be the man who sends Solihull to the Football League. Like I said, this game's been pretty much back and forth, so we're pretty much on the run of play. It was a Solihull attack, work to the left. Boys, Dallas, Sabara, Hudlin, link up on the left. Goal for Solihull Moors. And right before half-time, Grimsby will be going in, trailing at the break. As obviously we're in the 47th minute now. Okay, don't matter. Sure, we'll play till around the 48th minute as Harry Boys has the throw for Solihull. What a moment. What a goal. And Hudlin heads on from the throw-in again. Back to where it came from for Andy Smith. Sousa battling with Sabara for the ball, and the Portuguese international comes out on top only momentarily as he loses out to Solihull left-back Boys, who gets it down the left channel for Andy Dallas to chase. Max Crocombe comes for it and does about thump it forward for Grimsby. As there's a free kick for Solihull, I think Ryan Taylor, the striker, who went for the ball aerially, just pushing and shoving and committing the foul. But like I say, it's been a pretty even game, to be fair. All attacks coming off the run of play, to be honest. It's been back and forth. Been a bit like a basketball match. It's been great fun to commentate on. And as the free kick is taken by Alex Gudger towards Kyle Hudlin, the referee blows for half-time. Like I say, what a half we've had there. Unbelievable half of football, back and forth. But there's been one man who's really made the difference, and that's Kyle Hudlin, with a goal in the 46th minute of the first half. What a game we've had so far. We've had chances galore. We really have. As early as the 3rd minute, Callum Howe for Solihull Moors had a chance from a flick on from a corner from his centre-back partner, Alex Gudger. That was deflected out for a corner. That really set the stall for the game. And then 5 minutes later, Grimsby got back with their first chance. It was a long throw in by Jordan Cropper. It was deflected through by right winger Ryan Barnett, and it came off the knee of Kyle Hudlin, who nearly scored an own goal for his side. But it was a great save down low to his right from Joe McDonald to keep it at 0-0 at that point in the game. And once again, 14 minutes into the game, Callum Howe, 2 chances he had in 15 minutes. He had a header at the far post from a Joe Sabara corner. He got up higher than Andy Smith at the far post, and his header just was wide of the post. So Solihull definitely dominating the first 20 so minutes. Then Grimsby started to try and get back into the game themselves, and their tide flipped in the 23rd minute. They had a penalty appeal in the box. Callum Maycock took down Jordan Cropper in the box as they collided. Referee said no. It's one of those where, some refs might give it, some refs won't. And then Grimsby started to get a bit of a foothold in the game after that. Starting to put a foothold in the game, starting to make some chances, starting to get some possession and put Solihull under pressure. And that Solihull pressure continued. But on the break, they're always dangerous, Solihull, when they've got the likes of Dallas on the left and Ryan Barnett on the right. And a great save was made by Max Crocombe half an hour in. They broke Solihull and they got it to Andy Dallas on the left-hand side, cutting on the left onto his right. And the shot was deflected off Danny Amos, the left-back for Grimsby. And as it deflected up, Max Crocombe was going down low to his right, and he had to get an arm up in the air to save it. That's another chance for Solihull that went away. But then Grimsby also went close as well. 10 minutes before half-time, which also led to another penalty appeal as the ball went in from Enrico Souza, fell to McAtee at the far post, who prodded it into Harry Clifton, who then poked it to Gavin Holohan on the edge of the box, who struck wide. During that, John McAtee was nicked for another penalty. For me, Storer, the captain, who did catch McAtee, I think he fouled him, chopped his ankle down. But again, the referee didn't see it. We have no VAR. So that was that. And then more chances. There's just chances everywhere. It's an unbelievable final. Enrico Souza again got in behind for Grimsby, playing the ball across to Harry Clifton. And from about 3 yards out, he leant back. He just couldn't get over the ball. And he ballooned the ball onto the top of the net. And 5 minutes to go till half-time. That's a big chance, and probably one that you will think back on and probably regret not putting away if this game goes Solihull's way. And it did, right on half-time. Into added on time we went. 1 minute was added on. And in that time, Solihull just nicked a goal. Kyle Hudlin was the one who got it. Kyle Storer in the centre of that midfield for Solihull swept it wide left to Harry Boyes, the left back for Solihull. Chipped a ball into the chest of Andy Dallas in the box. He brought it down nicely, laid it off into Sabara, who was wide left. In the box it went, up, stuck up for Kyle Hudlin, 6'9", against Danny Amos, the left back, who's only 5'11". There was only one winner. He got up highest, headed it down, bounced up into the top corner. Max Crocombe couldn't keep it out. And right before half-time, we have Grimsby 0, Solihull 1. Little overview of the half there, but so much has gone on. It was quite difficult to keep up there. But like I say, 1-0 Solihull Moors, goal for Kyle Hudlin right on half-time in the 46th minute. It'll be really frustrating for Grimsby to concede that late. But they've had chances, Grimsby, like I've just read out, but Solihull probably just had a few more. So if there's a deserved team to go in at half-time, it was probably Solihull, but Grimsby haven't been too far behind in terms of chances. So second half, anything can happen, that's for sure. This game is not over, and Grimsby will come out fighting once again, but that will be something they'll really be frustrated by, conceding right before half-time. But like I say, against Wrexham, when they went behind, they came straight back many times. Against Notts County, 95th minute of that game, they were 1-0 down, got the equaliser in the 96th minute, got it to extra time, won it in the 119th minute. So Grimsby have been down many, many times in this playoff campaign. So, you know, this won't worry them. This won't scare them that they've gone behind. Obviously, they'll want to try and get back on level terms as quick as possible, but you know, won't be worrying them that they are behind. I think the time that they conceded the goal will frustrate them. But the difference, Kyle Hudlin, I thought he was going to be the difference. 6'9" striker scoring a header. No shock there, really, is there? Solihull did finish third, higher than Grimsby. So, off the league table, you definitely favour Solihull to go up. But like I said, they're showing this goal again. Really well chested down by Dallas in the box, keeping the ball away from Andy Smith. Laid it off into Sabara, who just wasn't closed down quick enough by Rico Souza, who was half-heartedly making his way back to try and close down the cross. I say Kyle Hudlin on his own, about 8 yards out, got up, headed it down into the ground, past Max Crocombe. Like I say, first blood in the playoffs final goes to Solihull Moors. Was linked. I don't know how serious this link was, but it was a link that was made. You might remember it with Kyle Hudlin. He was linked to Manchester City last summer in the August of 2021. Didn't go through that move. I don't think Guardiola was actually that interested in the 21-year-old, but that was a link. But yeah, like I said, Grimsby had their chance, especially that one 5 minutes before half-time. Harry Clifton sending it over the bar. Rico Souza getting it across the box. Unmarked Harry Clifton. Over the bar it went. And here is Rico Souza again on the right. A shot that stung the gloves of McDonnell. So their main source of chance definitely down the right-hand side for Grimsby with Rico Souza. He does like to put a cross in, and he's put many crosses in, and not one of them has been put away yet. But great half football, really, really good advert for the National League. That's, you know, he's got a lot of publicity this season. It's, you know, it's been popularised a lot, I think, this season. You know, you've had the Wrexham Grimsby playoff game. You've had Stockport County winning the league, playing Bolton on BBC in the FA Cup, 5-3 that game, and just the whole title race in general and the playoff race. And the playoffs itself has been fantastic. So it's been great to see. But yeah, 2 penalty appeals as well. That one on Cropper from Maycock, and then the one on Storer. The one from Storer on McAtee. Both definitely penalty shouts where, you know, on a different day they are given. So that's definitely that second one on McAtee, the one that was later on in the game. Yes, it was a heavy touch from McAtee, but the ref's view has been blocked because the man who conceded well, not conceded, but the one who put the foul on Cropper for the first penalty was in the ref's eye line for the second one. Maycock blocking the eye line of the referee. You couldn't quite see the severity of the challenge on McAtee by Storer because he did get right on his ankle. I'm surprised that wasn't given, but like I say, on there, they just shown that his eyesight may have been a little bit blocked off. Like I said, Grimsby will feel hard done by. They've had good chances. Not many Solihull, but they've had good chances. They've had 2 penalty appeals, but right before half-time, that's what the difference has been made. Kyle Hudlin, who got the robot out in the end, actually. Channeling his inner Peter Crouch, who are very similar heights, that's for sure. second half will be getting underway in a couple minutes' time, so make sure you're ready. You're back in the stream ready. But if you could like and subscribe, that would really help me out. It really would, all you people here. Like I say, when the new season comes around, I'll cover some more National League games. I'll be doing some League 2, League 1 games. I think next season I'd really want to try and broaden the leagues I cover, even the foreign leagues as well, like Italy. Not done a Serie A game before. La Liga, I'll try and look into that as well. So, yeah, definitely going to try and do some more lower league English games next season. That's for sure, because that's where the fans really mean the most. When you've got crowds, that aren't as high as the Premier League and the Championship, fans do really run these lower league clubs, and it really means the most to them when results go their way in days like this when you get promotion. Bundle Park, Grimsby Town, is the lowest above sea level in the UK. I didn't know that. That's very interesting. Yeah, it's the lowest stadium in the UK, just 2 feet above sea level. On the west side of the ground is the two-tiered Carlsberg stand, which is the tallest stand in the ground. It was opened in 1981, replacing the old Barrett stand. Very interesting. Yeah, it says it here. 2 feet above sea level. Interesting stat. Sorry if I just went away for a second there. I accidentally turned off my streaming tab. Not the smartest things to do, because I do need to see if anyone speaks in the chat. There we go, we're back again. Sorry about that. But very interesting stat, I say. Yeah, I mean, I've got my stats written down here. But you just trumped me on that one, I must admit. But yeah, I just want to mention as well before we get underway. The situation with the fans this week, shocking from the National League. It really is. 2 northern teams, Jubilee weekend. They've shoved it in the London Stadium. That's football-wise has got not much history. Rubbish view because you're so far away from the ground. And then the price of the tickets: £20 for children, £40 for adults. I've been keeping up to track all week. I followed them. I mentioned it before. The Mariners Trust, Grimsby's fan trust, on Twitter. I was keeping up to date with what they were doing to try and get people at the game. And they ended up raising £20,000 for fans who could not afford to go to the game through donations to help out families who couldn't afford price tickets or getting their coaches and all that. And they did say, and they really did emphasise this, Wrexham fans helped massively in this. Even though they were beaten by Grimsby, they donated loads of money. When it came out, a Grimsby fan on Twitter, Laurie Gale, said this exactly. I'm going to quote her saying, "Wow, so for 4 of us, me, my brother and my 2 kids, it's going to cost $315 in just coaching tickets. Wow, Vanarama, how can you justify these prices when the Football League was cheaper?" So many, £315 for tickets and travel. That's not getting there, you're buying your food, your drink, everything else that you need when you go to a big away game. It's absolutely crazy. So like I say, the Grimsby Trust, the fan fundraiser really stepped up, donated, ended up raising £20,000, which was then used for people who genuinely couldn't afford tickets to get there, get their travel, get their tickets done. And that was great to see, and great to hear that Wrexham also helped out with their donations with that. Despite them knocking them out the playoffs, they were still able to donate and help out. But then again, the mention of, I've been reading articles all week about it, and they said, struggle to get to London, but then it's even harder sometimes to get back. It's one thing getting there, but then also having to get back as well, the long travel back, coaches being sparse. So it's been really poor from the National League. It really has, and I hope they learn from this because it's not been great. Because like I say, even from a Solihull fans' point of view, they've said some more fans told Birmingham Live, the newspaper, that some of them will not attend the game because of the crazy ticket prices. £40 for adults with £4 booking expense, by the way, £4 to book the tickets. So it's unbelievable, isn't it? It's crazy. Get away with anything, these organisations. That really it annoyed me during the week having to keep up with it. But then also I was, it brought my spirits up the fact that organisations like the Mariners Trust can come together and really help out other fans and fans like themselves. £40 is nothing, yeah, I know. £40 for I think, like they said, the Championship was cheap. I think the Championship was, £30? Adult ticket, £30? Crazy. But then we're about to get underway as well. Grimsby kicking from right to left, Solihull left to right as I look at it. Grimsby to kick off as well. So teams now will be attacking their own supporters. Grimsby in Super Bowl, they needed the Trust. But the fact that the Trust was able to get that much money and help out the fans was amazing. But like I say, about to get underway for the second half. Martin Woods, the referee, who waved away 2 Grimsby penalty shouts in the first half, gets us back underway. Grimsby send it towards their right-hand side, headed away by Solihull as far as Cropper, the right back. And they go with their back line with Luke Waterford, played forward towards Holohan, who just about keeps it in, lays back off to Waterford. Dinks it down the right channel for Grimsby. Touched by Souza. Loses out in the end to Solihull, who get the ball forward themselves. Long ball over the top, in behind, looking for Carl Hudlin. Had to be dealt with by Waterford, who clears it, not very convincingly, and it will roll out for a throw-in for Solihull Moors. Like I say as well, the National League chairman said this about the West Ham ground being used. He said, perfect fit for more magic. It's incredible, isn't it? For more magic. Perfect fit. Really? The fans are miles away. Literally in terms of where they live. They're miles away in the ground. The goals, the stands behind the goals aren't even being... the lower tier stand behind the goal isn't even being used because of concerts. I don't know how to get away with it. It's absolutely crazy. And they know the fans will come. They know the fans will do what they can to try and get there because, how much they love their club. And they just take advantage of it, and it's wrong. It's so wrong. And, they try to make up for it there. Vanarama, the company who sponsored the National League and did donate 20,000 to each club to also help out with the need to get travel and money for tickets. So they did donate in the end, but what a shambles it was. The football's underway, and that's the real thing that matters come the end of the 90 minutes. Who's going up? Who's played the best on the day? As James Clark, the right back for Solihull, gets forward into the Grimsby half, lays it off into Barnett, back to goal, plays into Maycock, back to Barnett again. Maycock, who's drifted wide right, gets inside to Clark, 1-2, back to Maycock on the edge of the box, tries to get beyond Andy Smith, but it's a good tackle from the Grimsby centre half, and the counter-attack could be on as they've worked it to McAtee on the left-hand side for Grimsby, being forced backwards by the Solihull defenders, but he's got it off the Solihull man last for a throw-in for Grimsby. I'm from Grimsby, but live in London. No one reminded me I could have got a train and gone. Yeah, but the trains, I bet they're proper, full at the minute with like Jubilee weekend going on in London. But train tickets are really expensive, or definitely hard to get hold of anyway. But like I say, the Grimsby fans and the Solihull fans have made their way in good numbers, in fairness. And Solihull are the team that are going to be having a promotion party later on. But McAtee has got in between the lines, has picked up the ball, and he lays it off into Clifton on the left, tries the first time cross, deflects off James Clark, and he wins a throw-in for his side, Harry Clifton, playing left wing for Grimsby today. Oh yeah, you have the tube. Yeah, in London you have the tube as well, yeah. But I mean, getting into London, yeah. But yeah, if you live in London, you have the tube. Holohan gets it out to Cropper. Oh, Holohan tries to go short into McAtee and it is too short of a pass. Hudlin gets it in to Andy Dallas. Good tackle that from Ben Fox. Played forward by Andy Smith into Clifton. Drifting on from the left-hand side into the centre of the pitch. Finds Holohan. Rico Souza, everything to his left in the box. We'll go on the outside. He'll lay it off back to Holohan. Oh, deflected towards goal and just wide by Harry Clifton. What a chance. Enrico Souza laid it onto the edge of the box towards Holohan and he's shot towards goal. It was dragged towards the far post. It was nicked off Clifton, who took it towards the bottom right-hand side of the goal, and just wide it went. Just flicked it towards the bottom right corner. Holohan's strike didn't have much power on it. It was guided with a little cheeky flick by Clifton, just an inch wide of the post. Not far away, but a positive start for Grimsby. Andy Smith heads it forward for Grimsby. Ben Fox loses out. Play forward to Hudlin now for Grimsby. For Solihull, as Grimsby do defend with Andy Smith again. Much better start to the half for him as we're 4.5 minutes into this second half. And Grimsby still trail by 1. It's been an open game since the very first whistle. It's just who's going to be the most clinical, I think, in this game. Souza flicks it on towards Harry Boys, who runs out of pitch on the left, and it's a Grimsby throwing on their right-hand side. Like I say, second spell here for Paul Hurst, the Grimsby manager. Took over for a second time in December of 2020. Managed well over 350 games for the club. His National League, he's managed over 275 games in the National League, so he's experienced at this level. It's from the long throwing in. It's gone back to Clifton, back out to Cropper, who took the throw in for Grimsby. He sends it back in with his right boot, up towards Ryan Taylor. Loses that to Howe on the edge of the box. McAtee strikes! Oh, just over the bar. Hands on the head from John McAtee. Not far away at all. We know he's got that talent and that ability to hit him from that range. Like I said, as the ball went back in, Callum Howe headed it out to McAtee, chested touch, and then from around 22 yards out, just rising over the bar, hit it beautifully with the right foot. Oh, that's not far away, it really isn't. Like I say, John McAtee, 14 goals in the league this season, plus the goal in the game against Wrexham in the playoffs. Was at Burnley under 18s earlier on in his career. John McAtee, age 22. Like I say, his little brother is making it through in the Manchester City ranks, James McAtee. Long ball forward by Andy Smith, up towards the left to Danny Amos. Helped on for Grimsby, up towards Ryan Taylor. Volleyed away by Callum Howe, up towards Hudlin, who flicks it on in behind for Andy Dallas. He'll get there ahead of Luke Waterfall, but I think the whistle's gone. He dragged his shot wide anyway in the box. Andy Dallas. As there's been a collision of heads here between Kyle Hudlin and Andy Smith as Hudlin headed it on in behind. I'm not sure what happened here. The referee blew his whistle, so even if Andy Dallas had put the ball in the net, it wouldn't have counted. Martin Woods is trying to get the Solihull players to relax here. As Callum Howe hooked it forward. Hudlin won the free kick. I mean, won the ball. It's got to be a Solihull free kick, that. Hudlin went for it. Andy Smith went in. Oh, that's got to... If that's a Grimsby free kick, that is ridiculous. But then if it's a Solihull free kick, why is he blown? I know it's head injury, but he's literally... he's about to score. I know he dragged it wide, so it don't matter. It does look serious here. The medics are out for Kyle Hudlin. Because Andy Smith, who went for it, the Grimsby defender, he wasn't even looking at the ball. He just went in head first, right into Kyle Hudlin. That is bizarre. I know he has to stop play for head injuries, but they're in behind, literally in the box. So, crazy. We're just getting a stoppage in play here for Kyle Hudlin, who's getting some treatment here. They've got a striker on the bench to come on. Not quite 6'9", he's 5'8", in Danny Newton, the 31-year-old striker. Joined in the summer from Stevenage. Does have 5 goals. Last of those 5 in the league came in mid-April in a 2-1 win against Aldershot But there is Christine Green-Bem, chair of the Mariners Trust, in the crowd. So she was able to get there today. Not quite the result they want yet, but we still have a lot of the game left, just including this breakup of play that we've currently got. Hopefully Kyle Hudlin is okay. I think Andy Smith did get back to his feet, I think. Yeah, Kyle Hudlin is also back to his feet, which is good to see. I think he had a bloody nose. He's got a bit of tissue in his nose to help him out there. The 21-year-old striker. Signed in October of 2020 from Solihull United. He was replaced by Danny Newton in the semi-final against Chesterfield in the 68th minute. So that change has been made before. If you are new, please like and subscribe as we are getting towards the nail-biting part of this game where, you know, every chance matters. Back underway. It was a Solihull free kick in the end. And ball does drop to Maycock on the edge of the box. Works out wide right to Barnett. Try to take on Andy Smith one-on-one. Shaping up. He's isolated the man on the far left for Grimsby. And he works in towards Kyle Hudlin. Can't win the header. Cleared by Grimsby. Tried to break with McAtee, but it's won back by Kyle Storer for Solihull. And they've worked it to Barnett again on the right. Crosses in. A header this time. And it's headed wide by Andy Dallas. Not quite Kyle Hudlin on it this time, but Andy Dallas was the man who headed it wide. The Scotsman, born in Glasgow, Andy Dallas, was part of the Rangers youth setup for several years before leaving in 2019 for Cambridge. Like I said, got 3 goals in his first 5 in the league this season, then went 18 without a goal until scoring 5 in one match against Dover in a 5-0 win at home. Scored 8 that month, which was in January, and then won Player of the Month. And then got 2 goals in his last 4 in the league. Did score against Chesterfield as well in the semi-final. Scored the first goal in that match. Here's Rico Souza for Grimsby on the right, drifted just inwards, laying it off into Andy Smith, the centre half. Now Danny Amos, the left back, Northern Irish international, did make 5 Northern Ireland under-21 appearances back in 2020. This Cropper's ball has been deflected inside. It does find Ben Fox. Works it to Rico Souza. Furthest right is Jordan Cropper. He gets the ball. Oh, heavy ball down the line. He's overhit that massively. He tried to find John McAtee, who's making a run towards the byline. Overhit it massively. Goal kick for Solihull Moors with Joe McDonald to take. That was a really big chance, that, for Grimsby. Should have weighted that ball a lot better than what he did. But Kyle Hudlin has gone down again, by the way. The man who suffered a head injury just moments before. So it looks like they're going to have to make a change here, and it's going to be number 24, Danny Newton, striker for striker. Yeah, he's got a massive black eye appearing in his left eye. Like I say, when the ball came up to him, he's obviously going to win it, and Andy Smith, the striker, just went right into him, like with his arms up, ahead towards him, and he's obviously really caught Kyle Hudlin. It's devastating for the big striker who has got his team 1-0 up, and it looks like he won't be able to play all this game. He's got a massive black eye appearing. Like I said, usually Kyle Hudlin doesn't really last 90 minutes anyway. He only gathered 5 starts in the National League season this year. In the 44 games this season that was played, he's going to applaud the Solihull fans as he will have to make way. But he's been the difference so far. In the 46th minute, the first minute of additional time, he got up, ahead of Danny Amos, headed it downwards, bounced up into the net. So he's definitely done his job, but with just over half an hour to go, Kyle Hudlin, the 6'9" striker, has been replaced by Danny Newton, caused in a head collision with Andy Smith, and he's having to come off. So number 27 off, number 24 on. We'll have to change the game up a little bit, because like I say, they don't have a target man up there anymore, because Danny Newton is only at the height of 5'8". Did leave out the likes of Adam Rooney out the squad. The experienced Irish striker, 34 years of age. But Danny Newton's on, and we're back underway. Ryan Taylor flicking it forward in behind towards John McAtee. Forces the clearance from James Clark. It's a throw in for Grimsby in the Solihull half. Thrown back to Ben Fox. Amos to halfway line to Andy Smith. Luke Waterfall, the hero against Wrexham. On the ball again. Across it goes to Andy Smith. Fox to Amos. Holohan. Like I say, was here last season, Gavin Holohan. And did score the very important goal against Notts County to keep them in the playoffs. Scored in the 96th minute against Notts County as the break falls loose here to Harry Clifton. James Clark not being able to clear it. Clifton trying to run at Maycock, can't beat the midfielder. Solihull can clear, and they get it up to Dallas, holds up nicely. To Barnett on the far right. Breaking forward, enters the Grimsby half. He's going to keep going, Barnett. Some great speed here. Danny Amos can't get near him, but he's passing inside towards Dallas. It's cut out nicely by Andy Smith. And Grimsby can come back at Solihull here with Ben Fox on it. Playing it into the path of Jordan Cropper, the right back for Grimsby. On the far right-hand side. Danny Amos. Looks for a long ball up towards Ryan Taylor, the striker. Comes off his shoulder. And he holds it up on the edge of the box. Tries to play it through towards McAtee, who claims for handball, but nothing given by the referee. And Solihull clear again. And it's up towards Barnett, who got it off Andy Dallas. And he gives, or tries to give the return, but he overhits it down the right channel of Solihull. Dan Dallas doesn't even try and chase it. It's overhit massively. And it can be picked up by Andy Smith. It's Grimsby on the ball. Half an hour to save their season. Crocombe, the goalkeeper, up towards Taylor again. Header won by Howe. Only as far as Ben Fox in the Solihull half for Grimsby. The driving midfielder gets into Taylor. McAtee to his left. Works it to him. Finds Clifton. Heavy hit pass, but he does work across and he wins a corner for his side. Well worked by Harry Clifton there. Having to stretch to keep that in play, to avoid the goal kick, and he's got the crossing with his left boot. Deflected out. And the corner he's got for his team. Thanks to everyone who was here. Great numbers again. If you could please like and subscribe, it would really help out. It just takes 2 seconds to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to try and hit 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And all you subscribing would really help out. It just takes 2 seconds to do so. As we've got Danny Amos, the left back, with the corner who drills it towards the edge of the box, headed away by Barnett. Well, as far as Clifton, who won the corner. Last man for Grimsby. Out wide left to Rico Souza, the number 18. Running at the Solihull back line. He drives inside towards his right foot. Tackled by the side challenge of Maycock. Tries to send away Andy Dallas, and it's a big challenge by Clifton on the halfway to avoid what would have been a very dangerous counter-attack for Solihull Moors, who were only founded in 2007, went into the 6th tier, National League North, and got promoted from the 6th tier back in 2016. So as Solihull got promoted to the National League, that season Grimsby got promoted from the National League to League 2. Solihull, ever since then, have been a National League side. Finished 16th in their first season in the National League, then 18th, and then a big jump up to 2nd in the 18-19 season, where they did have their last playoff campaign, Solihull Moors, in that 18-19 season. They played 5th place Fylde at home in a one-game shootout for a place in the final, and they came up short. So despite finishing 2nd, they slipped up against Fylde in the semi-final and missed out a spot to get promoted. But they've got another chance here, and they're taking it as they've got a clip ball towards Newton at the far post. Can't win the header on Cropper. Sabara, left-footed ball back in towards the box, overhits it, out for a goal kick for Grimsby. Like I said, they have been in the playoffs before, Solihull, like I say, when they finished 2nd that season. But even when you finish 2nd, a bit like Wrexham this season, finishing 2nd doesn't mean much, though. Grimsby are going to make their first change. It's an attacking change. It looks like right winger. Not yet. He's just getting ready, getting a few last instructions. Right winger Jordan Maguire-Drew is going to be coming on. Joined in November of 2021 on a free from Woking. Has 6 goals in this season, 5 of them for Grimsby. As a deflected strike goes over the bar and a corner for Grimsby. John McAtee again, trying to get the Grimsby crowd going. Not as many clear-cut chances in this half as we've had in the first half, but like I said, Gudger won the header there from the goal kick, and it fell nicely to Holohan, who worked it to McAtee in behind on the right-hand side of the box. Shot deflects off Callum Howe. And corner kick for Grimsby. Danny Amos is going to take it. Needs to work this one better because the last one he tried to clip it to the edge of the box and it was intercepted before it could get to a Grimsby man. And here it is. It's clipped in again. Header one, really important header one by Danny Newton, the substitute. It's out wide to the right-hand side for Grimsby. They do keep it alive. Clifton through the gap to Ben Fox in the box on the right. Pulls it back. Deflects to Smith, the centre-back. Taylor, shot. Deflects into the air and it can be collected by McDonald, the goalkeeper. Slight chance there for Grimsby as the ball went in the box and it landed to the feet of centre-back Andy Smith, probably the man they didn't want it to land to after the captain for Solihull, Storer, failed to clear. And then Smith tried to work it to Ryan Taylor, the striker, whose shot was, like I said, deflected into the air and caught by McDonald. Long clearance. Won by Grimsby. Clifton tries to go round the long way of Clark. Callum Howe wins the tackle but concedes the throw-in inside his own half. A strong challenge there. It's going to be a like-for-like change. Arico Souza, who's been the main source of threat for Grimsby with his crosses, is going to be replaced. And that man, who I mentioned before, Jordan Maguire-Drew, comes on, the number 25. Like I say, Arico Souza can't really be too displeased with himself. He put in loads of crosses and definitely provided the threat down the right, but just didn't quite come off for him. But now for the Solihull left back of Harry Boys, he's got a different prospect now of Maguire-Drew. Solihull have it, Storer. Great ball, breaking the lines there towards Newton, but he slips, but it falls to him anyway. Falls to Barnett. Out now to James Clark on the right, who joins the Solihull attack. Glazed off into Maycock. Clark. Barnett. Great turn, great spin on Ben Fox. Nice little bit of footwork there as well from Barnett. Works it back out to the right back, James Clark. Like I say, signed a permanent deal in March for Solihull. In a contract till 2024. Clip ball in the left channel for Sabara, who's been a little bit quiet since the first opening stage of this game. Luke Waterfall wins the header on him. And it can be played forward now to Holohan, the number 28 for Grimsby. Down the line it goes to Maguire-Drew, who wins the throw for his side as he's tackled by Harry Boys. But it looks like a long throw and he's going to be the cause again for Grimsby. Jordan Cropper. Long throw in. Into the box it goes. Header won, really well won. Actually by number 24 again, Danny Newton. And Jordan Cropper. He's got another throw in. He takes it short to Holohan. Goes across to Amos, who gets it forward. Up towards Waterfall. Can't get it into Fox. Barnett. Tackled the first time, but he wins it a second. It's now Maycock. Big slide tackle from Amos. What a tackle that is. And he can set his Grimsby team away. Goes to his right to McAtee. Good footwork to get away from Storer. Back out to Fox on the left. Inside he goes to Taylor. Back to goal. Lays off into McAtee. Good poke away there from Callum Howe. Goes all the way to number 28, Holohan. As Grimsby keep it alive. But what a tackle that was from Amos to stop the Solihull counter, because that could have been really dangerous. As we're 68 minutes into this match now. Grimsby still need a goal. Solihull did do the league double over them this season. So it could be 3 wins out of 3 for them against Grimsby Town. Maguire-Drew. Out to Cropper. Holohan on halfway. Gets the ball forward. Doesn't want... Well, thought he was going to do 1-2 with Clifton, but he left it to go back to Andy Smith, the centre-half, as Grimsby play from the back. They just need to be patient. Need to create a chance with Fox trying to get it down the right-hand side to Maguire-Drew. Cut out by Storer. And Solihull can bring it away, but a short pass up towards Newton. It's cut out, and Grimsby away, down the right. Great ball. This has got to be it! And it is! It could only be one man, and it's John McAtee. We are level in the playoff final. Paul Hurst goes crazy in his technical area. Grimsby fans erupt. And just like that, the game changes and flips on its head. There's been so much of that. So much of that in this game. It's been so end-to-end, back and forth, that one short pass can flip an attack. And when they got the ball, Grimsby, they really, really punished Solihull. Their captain, Kyle Storer, played a short ball up towards Dallas it was in the end. Andy Smith got it. What a ball that is. Great vision to McAtee, who peeled out to the right-hand side, driven himself into the box, slotted it into the bottom left corner, across goal, beating Joe McDonnell in the Solihull goal. And we've got this game back on level terms. Grimsby won, Solihull won. It could only be one man, and that's John McAtee. Really well won that from Grimsby. Andy Smith getting it out wide right to McAtee, who drifted right, who knew where the space was. Like I say, driven himself right into the box. Couldn't be stopped by Callum Howe or any one of the Solihull defenders. And into the back of the net it was. Composed, calm finish. And this game's all level, and Neil Ardley, the Solihull manager, has got some thinking to do. Like I say, as well, the mistake. The goal was in the 69th minute. And the mistake as well for Solihull came from their captain, Kyle Storer. 35 as well, so experienced, yet made such a mistake. And we're back underway after a flare was removed from the Grimsby half. Flicked on. Could be a quick goal here. Waterfall brings down Dallas on the edge. Referee doesn't see it as a free kick again. Another real big challenge. Grimsby have it. Waterfall gets away with it. Dallas looked in behind. And the referee waved it away. Definitely have a replay of that, but I think this game's going to get really, really intense now with just 20 minutes to go plus any added on time. Diagonal from the goalkeeper Crocombe up towards Clifton. Header won by Clark. Barnett helps forward as far as Andy Smith. Fox. Now Holohan drives forward. The former Hartlepool man. Good tackle from behind from Newton. And Solihull could have a counter-attack of their own. Sabara. Across it goes to Maycock. Out wide right to Barnett. Isolating the fullback. One-on-one with Danny Amos. Goes a long way around him. Works across. In it goes. Waterfall heads away only as far as the edge of the box. McAtee gets it to Holohan. Loses out though. And Solihull come again. Work it to their left to Boys. Down the line to Sabara. In the box. Pulls it back. Just beyond Danny Newton. And Grimsby can get away. Holohan again loses out. Great tackle from behind. Played forward to Maycock. Out to Barnett. Loads of space on the right. Clips across. In. Header over the bar. Andy Dallas this time with a big opportunity. And I'm getting so caught up in the moment, I do need to change the score. End-to-end stuff here. Solihull trying to get straight back in the lead. Like I say, if this isn't worth liking and subscribing, I don't know what is. Make sure you do before you go. Trying to aim for 1,000 as soon as I can. What a game we've had. I've really enjoyed it. Really end-to-end stuff. As Max Crocombe aims towards Harry Clifton on the Grimsby left over his head. And a Solihull throw, and it'll be in their own half. Solihull have scored exactly 3 goals in their last 4 games, winning all four of them and keeping 2 clean sheets in the process. So they can score. And then with Grimsby, they've scored 11 in their last 3 games, conceding 9. Their last game of the season was at Eastleigh, and that was a 4-4 draw. The man on the bench, Diaz Arue, scored a hat-trick that day. And then obviously against Notts County, they bagged 2, and then against Wrexham, they scored 5. So Grimsby have really been in the goals. In the back end, and where it really matters, they've been in the goals, to be fair. So Harry Boyes has committed a free kick here on Cropper. Yeah, just catching the right back. Definitely a free kick. Didn't get any of the ball there, despite his frustration there. Harry Boyes. It's not a long throwing, but here's a free kick from far, and it's a little high Solihull line. Clipped into the box. Waterfall can't win the header. Falls to Clifton. Touches poor. And it can be worked away from Storer to Barnett. Counter-attacks really on his one-on-one with Amos. He's the last man. Gets beyond Amos. Tries to play it through. What an interception from Holohan. Dallas was really breaking in behind. It looks like he got beyond Amos. And then the recovering Holohan just got across to intercept the pass. That would have set Andy Dallas through one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Like I say, as much as Grimsby have taken the game to Solihull here with some attacks, Solihull are looking really dangerous on the counter. Throw it up towards Ryan Taylor, the Grimsby striker. Clifton to Holohan. The back line. Waterfall to Andy Smith as Grimsby have got it around that back line. Up it goes towards Ryan Taylor, the striker. Holds it up, it's caught late. Referee sees nothing wrong with it, and the ball falls to Danny Newton. Ball through into Dallas. Oh, nudged from behind. Free kick on the edge of the box. Oh, Jordan Cropper. Grimsby are going to be frustrated. Ryan Taylor up front for them thinks he should have won a free kick as he lost the ball to set this counter-attack off. And like I said, Andy Dallas let the ball run across him. Jordan Cropper came behind, nudged him over, and literally right on the edge of the box. We've got a Solihull free kick. And it's going to be a booking for the fullback. There we go. Booking to Jordan Cropper. This could be a big chance, because this game did really start turning Grimsby's way, especially when obviously they scored the goal and they carried on their momentum after. Sometimes you can be most vulnerable when you've just scored a goal, and they could be very, very vulnerable now. Crocombe trying to set up his wall. It looks like it's going to be a 5-man wall. Harry Boyes is over it as a left-footed option. Kyle Storer, the captain, who was at fault for the Grimsby goal, giving the ball away, he's also stood over it as a right-footed option. Just on the left-hand side of the box, so it's definitely more suited to a right-footer, but we'll see who takes it. Storer or Boyes. With the left-footed Boyes, he drills it towards the box. Not dealt with. Shot blocked over the bar. Big block from John McAtee. Sabara was the man who had the shot in the end. It was an interesting choice of technique from Harry Boyes. He just drilled it away from the wall. It blocked off Clifton, Waterfall, Fox. It came off 3 Grimsby men. They just couldn't get it cleared. Even Andy Smith tried to clear it off and it came off the face of a Solihull man. Then Sabara, it fell to his shot and it was deflected over the bar. Mayhem from that free kick. That was crazy, that. And it's resulted in a corner kick for Solihull Moors. Could we have a late winner here? 2 arms in the air, right-footed. Ball in towards Callum Howe. He wins the header from the corner. Easy catch in the end for Crocombe. Not enough power on the header to cause the New Zealand international any worries. Here he is, Max Crocombe, to take this ball out of his feet. Up it goes into the sky towards Ryan Taylor. Does win the header, but no Grimsby plays near it, and it will just trickle back to the Solihull Moors goalkeeper and Joe McDonnell. Interestingly enough, Solihull Moors actually picked up the least amount of losses. Today's attendance, 22,897, which I think is quite a healthy number, to be fair. I think that's a really good a good number, I think, personally. Solihull are away here. Sabara trying to feed Boys on the left. Tries to get the pull back. Corner it goes. Waterfall thinks it's a goal kick. Boys wins a corner. Like I said, yeah, Solihull got the least amount of losses. They got 7 in the league. 7 losses in 42, which I think is quite the record. And that's like I say, less than Wrexham, who finished second with 8 losses. Less than Stockport County, who finished first. They got 10 losses. And they're currently on the back of 6 wins in a row, including that win to Chesterfield. They are in form, Solihull, and they could take the lead here. Ball in, headed away, only as far as Barnett on the right. Could he recycle the ball back in the box for Solihull? A few step overs, try to take on Cropper. His cross is deflected to the edge, and it will be picked up by Harry Clifton. And Grimsby could set away here on a counter-attack. McAtee's on the far right. He tries to go around Kyle Storer, and that's a free kick on halfway. Harry Clifton tried to go the long way around it. And Kyle Storer didn't allow it. The captain took him out. That'll be a yellow card. Yeah, wasn't going for the ball there. Kyle Storer taking down Harry Clifton. Nearly 100 people in here. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It would really help out. Like I said, trying to aim for 1,000 subscribers in the near future. So if everyone's here who's not liked or subscribed, just do it now. It takes 2 seconds, and it would really, really help me out, and I would really appreciate all the support that you guys give. Danny Amos down the left channel for Grimsby. Header won by James Clark. Nodded down to Callum Maycock in the midfield for Solihull in their own half. Drifting towards the right-hand side again. Lays it off to Barnett. Back to right back James Clark. Feeds it to goalkeeper Joe McDonnell. Being pressed by Ryan Taylor. Takes onto his right foot. And will clear the ball. Down the right-hand side. Up towards Andy Dallas, who loses out. Can't quite keep the ball in play. And here we go. Here is the famous Grimsby change. Striker for striker. Ryan Taylor, not had much to do, to be honest. Been pretty isolated in this game. He's tried to play that hold-up role, but he struggled, just not getting much service. And he's going to be replaced by Emmanuel Diaz-Arue. Scored the winner against Notts County in the quarter-final of the playoffs in the 190th minute. He scored against Wrexham to put them 4-3 up when he came on in that game as well in the semi-final. He's got 2 in 2 in the playoffs. Can he make it 3 in 3 and score in the final? He's been a danger man all playoffs. Emmanuel Diaz-Arue, the 6'5" striker, who joined on loan from Tranmere in February of 2022. Set to be released by Tranmere, so they might go back in for him. Grimsby scored in the 2019 playoff final for Salford against Fylde in that 3-0 win. Also won the Papa John's Trophy as well with Salford as well in his time there. You know, he definitely would have been knocking on Paul Hurst's door, asking, am I going to be starting the playoff final? I've scored 2 in 2, but both those goals have been off the bench, and sometimes when you've got a weapon like that off the bench, you know, sometimes starting them isn't as, sometimes they're not as dangerous. Sometimes off the bench, when everyone's a little bit tired, they just know what movements to make, what runs to hit as well. Crocombe for Grimsby. Long ball up the field. Header won by Gudger, the centre half. Helped on by Dallas on as far as the clearance from Waterfall. Looking for Maguire Drew. Header won by Boys. He's battling there in the midfield. And Solihull are the team who win the free kick in the end. John McAtee trying to battle and he's given away a free kick. He's not happy with the referee's decision. John McAtee scored with 20 minutes to go to get Grimsby back level. It was a great great right-footed finish into the bottom left corner. Solihull on halfway with Harry Boys on the far left. 1-2. What a 1-2 that is with Danny Newton. He's still going forward here. Boys, and he's brought down cynically once again. Gavin Holohan brings down the left back, and they've got a chance to get this in the box from the left-hand side. Yeah, Wales or Ukraine, that kicks off at 5, isn't it? So, you know, if we get this game finished in normal time, then we'll be able to go and have a watch of that, but you don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss any of this yet. This has been a great playoff final. I've really enjoyed it. Like I say, it's not been tense at all. It's not been a cagey game. It's the one thing I was hoping that it wasn't, and it really hasn't been. Boys, from the free kick, goes in. Gudger! Oh, headed over the bar. What a chance. Scored in the semi-final against Chesterfield. He should have scored in the final against Grimsby. Boys put it in. everyone on side. Headed on by Ben Fox to Grimsby, man, to the far post, where an unmarked Alex Gudger had a free header towards goal and over the bar. It went, how has he not even got that on target? Really poor from Alex Gudger. Should have done so much better. And he is a good goal-scoring centre-half, Gudger. He's only got 2 this season, but last season he got 3 goals in 9 National League appearances, because that's all he played, because he had horrid time of injury last season, Alex Gudger. So he can score, but that time he should have really put it on target. As we've got a stoppage here, I think Kyle Storr is down with cramp, the 35-year-old. Yeah, he is the man who gave the ball away for Grimsby to score their goal. Struggling with cramp, the 35-year-old. Bit of a timeout break. Like I say, it's just been non-stop for me. Both teams have just been really going for it. You know, it's like I said, just one thing I didn't want it to be cagey. If it was cagey, this could have been a really poor match. Like last week when the Forest Huddersfield game, that was a pretty poor game, that, because it was so cagey. But this game, both teams have proper gone for it, and I think it's been a great advertisement for the National League once again. What a bit of a stoppage, like I say, just sorting out Kyle Storr there. Both teams getting rehydrated again as we come into the last 5 minutes of the 90. 100 people here, by the way. The numbers recently on the stream back end of the season has been unbelievable. Make sure you like and subscribe if you are new, because like I say, it's been really great to see loads of people just subscribe. Thank you to everyone who just did. Like I say, I'm trying to get 1,000 as soon as possible. Like I say, it might take time, but you know, we're going to try and get to 1,000 as soon as we can. And like I say, the numbers in recent streams have been unbelievable. So yeah, thank you all for that. As we're back underway, ball towards McAtee down that right channel again, similar place to where he scored that goal for Grimsby, but it was cut out in the end by Harry Boyes. You can see the throw in for Grimsby, and we know they have a long throw in. They won their semi-final against Wrexham in the 119th minute, threw a long throw in, so Solihull have to be switched on. But Jordan Cropper to take that throw in. Movement in the Solihull box. Here we go. In it goes towards Waterfall. Just missed it. It'll fall to Clifton on the far left, who just about keeps it in on the far side. Tries to chop past Maycock. Can't quite get past the midfielder who can clear. Deflects off Clifton, which slows the ball down. It falls straight to the feet of Dallas. Across it goes towards Newton. Can he find the running of the left from Joe Sabara? Great tackle from the number 32, Jordan Cropper. And Grimsby can get forward again with Maguire Drew. Solihull counter-attack stopped. A fresh one starts for Grimsby. Maguire Drew on the right. Chops onto his left foot. Can't find space for a cross. Goes inside to Ben Fox, about 30 yards away from goal. Now plays it forward and back out wide right to Maguire Drew. Ball along the ground to McAtee. Oh, a yard away from him putting himself in Grimsby greatness. Ben Fox, great ball out wide right to Maguire Drew. 1-on-1 with Boyes. Got the ball through his legs. Across it went. He just got his left foot to it, McAtee. And it just spun wide of the post. That is so, so close. We stay at 1-1. John McAtee could have been the hero with 2 goals. Just wide, about 6 yards out. He got his left boot towards it. Like I say, it was just curling wide of the post. Diaz-Arue brings it down beautifully, keeps it towards him, and it deflects to Ben Fox. Pass intercepted by James Clark. Ball forward to Newton. Round the corner it goes. Good flick on towards Andy Dallas, but Andy Smith's the one to get it back to his goalkeeper, Max Crocombe, who has to clear first time. Up towards Maguire on the right. Good flick on down the right channel, and Diaz-Arue does get there. 1-on-1 with Gudger on the far right. Lays it back into Maguire Drew. Chops onto his right foot. Tries to go around Gudger, can't quite do so. Good defending from the Solihull defender, who sets Joe Sabara away on the left. The number 7, the 5'6" magician. He's got Danny Newton to his left. He'll play it to the substitute, who goes across first time, looking for Andy Dallas. He looks very tired, nearly cramping up there. It's hit too hard. And now it goes for a goal kick. This is getting tense. Thank you everyone who's here. Like I say, make sure you like and subscribing. Because this is getting tense. 718 subscribers. Let's try and hit 725 before the end of the stream. I know loads of you who are here aren't subscribed, so make sure you do that. As Grimsby lose out. Oh, good tackle though from Waterfall, but only as far as Storer. Barnett out to Clark on the right. Minute to go. Clark again. First time ball down the right hand side to Maycock towards the byline. Can't keep it in. Goal kick for Grimsby. Solihull Moors have won this fixture late before earlier this season. Back in March, mid-March, they went to Grimsby's ground, beat them 2-1. Kyle Hudlin scoring in the 78th minute and the 89th. So Solihull have won this game late before. Can they do it again? Goal kick from Grimsby. Fulton Maguire drew. Ben Fox in behind it goes looking for McAtee. Joe McDonald gets there. He's out of his box, but just about clears away from Diaz Arue. And out it goes for a throw in for Grimsby in the Solihull half. How many minutes will we get of added on time? We're going to find out in 5 seconds. We've hit the 90th minute. 6 minutes of added on time. We did get an injury from Kyle Hudlin and a few stoppages here and there. So 6 minutes left. Will we get a late winner? Grimsby ball out wide left. What a ball to Clifton in the final third. 1-on-1 with James Clark. Will he go down the byline? He'll try and go down the outside. That should be a goal kick. And it is. Good defending from Clark. Got a slide tackle in and got the last touch off the Grimsby man to get his team. Just a little bit of safety, a little bit of calmness. Because Grimsby have been the better side this last 20 minutes or so. Joe McDonald to take this goal kick for Solihull Moors. Played 1 minute of the additional 6 that we've been given. Headed one by Andy Smith, helped on by Ben Fox. To the left to Clifton, hooks it forward over the top for Diaz Arue. Chests it down, can't find McAtee, well won by James Clark. Forward by Storer to Sabara. Back to Storer again, out wide left to Boys. Into the Grimsby half he enters. Down line it goes to Andy Dallas. Gives it back to Storer again. Sees a switch on out towards the right and he does find Ryan Barnett towards Clark. But Danny Amos breaks out with it. The Grimsby left back. He's been told to drive forward by his coaching team. He's still going in the final third. He's entered the box. What a run. Amos shot blocked and bounced back off his knee. And out for a goal kick. Like I said, he won it in his own defensive final third. And gone to the attacking final third and got a shot away in the box. Came off Howe, then back off Amos's knee and then out for a goal kick. Big decision here, I think. I think he's run out of steam. He came off as well. John McAtee. In the 87th minute against Wrexham. He's clearly a player who struggles to last more than 90 minutes. But he got the equaliser and John McAtee is having to come off. He's been substituted. Like I said, he came off in the 87th minute against Wrexham after scoring 1 goal. And he'll be replaced by Arjan Reiki on loan from Aston Villa. Spent the first half of the season at Stockport County. Struggled for game time at the eventual champions of this league. So went to Grimsby. Suffered with injury badly. Arjan Reiki. Out from the start of March to the start of May with injury. But he's back now, Arjan Reiki. Replaces the goal scorer, John McAtee, with 3 minutes to go. We've got a long throw in here for Grimsby again. Long throw and it'll be. Cropper again. And it goes. Bounces all the way through to Waterfall. Heads it back across towards Reiki. Hooked away. Twice by Solihull. Dallas it falls to, but it'll be pulled back for a free kick on Barnett, who was just clipped as he tried to hook away. No real attack on for Solihull anyway, so brought back for a free kick with 2.5 minutes to go. Frustrating, I'm sure it is frustrating for Grimsby fans that John McAtee can't last into extra time for these big games. Like I say, he played 81 minutes against Notts County, where it looked like it was all over for them at that point. They were 1-0 down in the 81st minute. Came off in the 87th minute against Wrexham as well, where it was 4-4 at that point. But Arjan Reiki, good upcoming youngster for Aston Villa, on loan at Grimsby. Like I say, not quite the attacking threat of McAtee. Like I say, he scored that goal to make it 1-1 in the 69th minute. Really good finish with his right boot into the bottom left corner to have this game where it is now, 1-1. Callum Howe for Solihull clips the ball forward. Down the right-hand side, header won by Newton inside, looking for Dallas. Headed away, though, by Waterfall. Out for a Solihull throw-in. Great amount of people, a real 127 people in the stream. Really great numbers. Hope you're enjoying the commentary. And hopefully, a little bit extra time could be on our way. But I don't want to talk too soon, as Alex Gudger has to deal with a bouncing ball here from Diaz Arue's press. Just about hooks it away only as far as the halfway line, where Storer challenges. Maycock's the man who heads it forward. Sabara out to Barnett on the far right, one-on-one with Amos. Again, he's got some silky skills at Barnett, so he does like to tease the defenders, but he just plays it back to James Clark, the right back. He goes forward, down the line, into Danny Newton. Back out to Clark again. Across to the halfway line is Storer. Maycock. Boys, the left back, they're trying the left-hand side now. See if their left-hand side's up to it, and if Grimsby's right-hand side can defend solidly, as we've got under a minute left of this playoff final. Could get extra time if we get a late winner, and if it's going to be a late winner, it's probably going to be from Solihull, as they're the one on the attack in the final third. Right-hand side, Barnett, cross towards the far post. No Solihull players there, can be hooked away by Maguire-Drew. Storer, forward to Sabara, on the edge of the box on the left. Gets it wide, left to Boys, everything to his right. Tries to take on Maguire-Drew. He does do so, works a cross in, and it's a great catch from Crocombe, who tries to set Grimsby away quick. The counter-attack could be on. What a ball that is to Diaz Arue. Oh, can't take it in his stride. Alex Gudger comes across to take it away. Cleared by the goalkeeper. That would have been one hell of an assist from Crocombe if Diaz Arue could have took that in his stride. 6 minutes were played, and that's all we'll play. The referee blows for full time. It ends Grimsby 1, Solihull 1. Extra time it will be. An extra half an hour. Who will come out on top? What a great, fantastic game of football we've had in the 5th tier of English football. Extra time it'll be 1-0 at half time. It was through Kyle Hudlin on the 46th minute mark in the first minute of additional time in the first half. Good header into the Solihull net, into the Grimsby net for Solihull. And then in the second half, it's not been as many clear-cut chances as the first half, but still chances nonetheless. And the main one for Grimsby, the one that got them back level, 69th minute, John McAtee was found by Andy Smith down the right channel. He got himself into the box, slotted it bottom left corner. Couldn't be saved by Joe McDonnell. And that's why we have the game after 96 minutes as Grimsby 1, Solihull Moors 1. Extra time to come. What a game. What a game. Like I say, the extra time. Second half extra time is coming up. Oh, first half, isn't it? Sorry. Yeah, like I say, after a little break, we're going to be getting straight back again, so I wouldn't leave. I wouldn't go anywhere. Unless you're going to be quick, because we've got extra time to come in this playoff final in the National League to get that ticket to the Football League, to get to League 2, to join Stockport County, who won this league as champions. Like I say, what a game it's been. Because I remember Grimsby have just taken off John McAtee, the goal scorer. Like I say, he came off in the 81st minute against Notts County, came off in the 87th minute against Wrexham, and has come off very late on today. So obviously he's a player who can't play extra time, he just can't handle it with his fitness. So that'll be a big blow that he can't play any more than the 90 minutes he's played. But my word, has he contributed. What a goal that is in the final. He scored an unbelievable goal in the semi-final against Wrexham to make it 1-1 in that game. Then he's made it 1-1 again. Top corner it was. Top left corner, right boot. Like I say, we're going to get underway pretty soon. This player's getting treated for a bit of cramp, pain in the legs, but this is the last push now. This is it. They've got to make it now. Like I say, first goal assisted from Sabara into Kyle Hudlin. Good header beyond Max Crocombe. He had to unfortunately come off injured around 15 minutes into the second half after a head collision with Andy Smith. And Andy Smith was the man who intercepted Cal Story's pass and got it through into John McAtee, who was able to slot it in behind. Took the cheers and the jubilation from the Grimsby fans as Neil Hardley and Paul Hurst come together before extra time, share a few words, a few laughs and giggles. Well, it's business time now with this last half an hour. Grimsby have been here twice now in this playoff campaign. They played 120 minutes against Notts County. They played 120 minutes against Wrexham. So this is the third time in about 2 weeks where they've played 120 minutes. So they're going to be playing 360 minutes of football to get to the Football League. So if you think the team deserves it off playoffs, you're definitely going to say Grimsby. But in terms of the season, Solihull, solid finish, third, 87 points. I think it was 1 point behind Wrexham in second in the end. So, like I say, both teams in their own way and for their own reasons deserve to be promoted, but only one team can. And we're going to find out with this extra time play that was about to get underway. Grimsby will be kicking left to right towards the Solihull fans. Solihull from right to left towards the Grimsby fans. So they are going to be attacking the ends that they obviously attacked the first half of the match. As Ben Fox has kick-off for Grimsby. Goes back to Arjan Reiki, the substitute. Slams it forward towards the right-hand side. We'll go all the way through to Solihull Moors keeper, Joe McDonnell. And we're back underway for extra time. Solihull have it with James Clark, the right back. No changes made at full time going into extra time. We've obviously had Maguire, Drew, Diaz Arue and Arjan Reiki on. So 3 Grimsby substitutes have been made. Solihull have only made one change, and that's been Danny Newton up front for Kyle Hudlin, who got injured. Kyle Storer back to Callum Howe, the centre half, the number 5, playing it forward into Barnett, out to James Clark, who's venturing forward from right back. Goes down the line to Danny Newton, just peeled out to the edge of the box on the far right. In the box it goes to Barnett, pulls it back, lifts in the sky through a deflection and had to be headed behind by a Waterfall. Good defending by the Grimsby captain, and just over a minute in, we've already got a corner, and it's to Solihull Moors. Who will it be to take? 2 minutes into the game, they had a good chance with Callum Howe. 15 minutes in, they had a good chance again with Callum Howe with a backstick header that went just wide. So Solihull definitely know how to work set pieces and get the best out of them. In swinger. And it goes. Header won twice by Grimsby to get it away, and a foul's in the process as Ben Fox, who won the second header for Grimsby to get it away, was fouled in the process. Jordan Cropp has stayed down, I think struggling with fitness, but he's got a real weapon for Grimsby with his long throw-in, so they definitely won't want to lose their right back. It was released from Burnley's under-23s, Jordan Cropper, and was without a club from the summer up until March 2022 this year, so He went, good 6 months without having a club and then found a new home at Grimsby, and he's been fantastic since. 8 National League appearances, 7 starts, and then obviously had 2 appearances on start, so 10 appearances overall, with playing 87 minutes against Notts County and the full 120 against Wrexham. Did have 2 loans at Chesterfield in the National League from January to May of 2020, and then August 2020 to May 2021. So he's had experience before in this league. Solihull win a free kick. Andy Dallas getting pushed to the ground by Andy Smith. Soft one, but 2 hands in the back. Referee's always going to give that. As the Wales-Ukraine game started, I'll keep you up to date with that, with any score that happens. 0-0 5 minutes in, but we've got an important free kick here for Solihull. They'll definitely get this in the box. It's going to be the left-footed of Harry Boyes, the left-back. Drifts it in, up towards Callum Howe, the centre-back, who stayed down holding his head. The play will be stopped. It went out for a throw-in anyway. Hopefully Callum Howe is okay to continue. Usually the captain, if Kyle Storer doesn't play. Yeah, just got an elbow in the face by Diaz Arue. Accidental. He's just using his arms to get elevation to jump. And unfortunately, he was on the end of it. But he's back on his feet, Callum Howe. And he'll get back in the box. I think we're going to have a long throw in here from Solihull Moors. Like I say, you can't not watch this. I know the Wales-Ukraine game started, but you can't not see through to the end of this game, because it's been such a good game. It really has. Harry Boyes, short throw into Sabara. They have still got their centre-halves up, Solihull, as he does work a weak-footed cross, and Goodger tries to flick it over his head, but it comes off the front of his knee and out behind for a goal kick for Grimsby. So pressure relieved for the Mariners. And the Moors look to try and retake the lead. Crocombe. Goal kick up the field. Header won by Holohan. Hooked forward towards Diaz Arue, but he pushes Goodger to the ground. And that's a foul, says the referee in the Solihull half. Did lose one of their last 22 league games, Solihull, before the playoffs, and that was to Stockport County on the 18th of April, a 1-0 loss, then 15 wins in the 22. So in the 22 that they were unbeaten, the 22 where they got 1 loss, they've won 15 of them. Long ball forward, helped on by Danny Newton from the goalkeeper, forced to Joe Sabara on the left. He's got an assist from this position already. Can he find another one? Jules it across. Well dealt with by Andy Smith. A right-footed clearance. Forced to Maguire Drew. Ball forward to Diaz Arue. Forced to Ian Reiki. Sets away Holohan on the right-hand side. Has to hold it up. And Solihull Moors do get numbers back. But Grimsby do still try and attack. But that's stopped momentarily by Kyle Storer. As Maguire Drew loses out. And Solihull keep their foot on the ball. With 9 minutes left to go with this first half of extra time. Both teams need to try to preserve energy and use that energy when it's needed most. Callum Howe looks for a diagonal switch to Sabara. Header won by Jordan Cropper. Can't be kept in by Maguire Drew. And that'll be a throw in for Solihull, who would definitely be in the better side in the first 6.5 minutes of extra time. Storer goes back to his centre half. Callum Howe on the halfway. Has to go out to James Clark, the right back. Age 22. Barnett, the right winger, lifts it up toward Danny Newton up front. Well intercepted by Andy Smith. And Diaz Arue holds it up front and lays it off into Reiki. Offers too much of it to Callum Howe, who tackles it away. And now falls to Newton. Out wide left to Harry Boyes. He's got runs to his left. He uses Sabara as one of them. On the edge. Fancies a shot, and it's well caught there by Crocombe. He had to keep a hold of that because there was a striker of Solihull waiting to pounce on any spillage Crocombe may have left. So Crocom's got it in his hands for Grimsby. 28-year-old goalkeeper slams it forward up towards Diaz-Arue. Can't win the header on Callum Howe. And that header falls to Sabaru, who helps it on. As far as Andy Smith, who prods it back forward for Grimsby over Diaz-Arue, and it will land to the feet of Joe McDonnell. And that's Alex Gudger at the back for Solihull. To Boys, just leaving him a little bit short, allowing the tackle from Maguire Drew, but just about kept it moving. The left back to find his centre-half again of Alex Gudger. So now the opposite centre-half, Callum Howe, long ball down the right channel. Dealt with by Andy Smith, not dealt with very well by Danny Amos, the left back. So Solihull still in possession, as they've definitely been the team in control in this extra time, but yet to make a big chance. They've been able to get the ball in the box, but like I say, they want to test Crocombe. I know Sabara just had a shot a minute ago, but wasn't the hardest shots. You know, sometimes under pressure keepers can spill them, but you know that's his bread and butter. The keepers like that, straight down the throat it was. They try and break the line towards Andy Dallas, but it goes beyond him, and it will roll slowly back to the feet of Max Crocombe for Notts County. They all got back in the playoffs, Solihull Moors, in mid-February. Jumped from 4th to 3rd in the last 2 games of the season, because Halifax drew and lost in their last 2, and then Solihull were able to pick up 3rd place. Solihull to counter-attack as Grimsby tried to get forward, but again, it's been stopped by Andy Smith, who had a bit of a shaky first half, I thought. The young centre-half who's on loan from Hull's under 23s, he's only 20 years of age. He's playing his first set of professional league games, Andy Smith, and they've had to kick it out of play here, Grimsby, because Andy Smith's had to stop and he's been pulled up here for cramp, so even the younger players are feeling everything that's getting put into this game. He's back on his feet. It'll be interesting to see if Solihull will give the ball back here. They're going to make a change. Grimsby are going to make a change. It's an attacking one. Okay, here we go. We're getting a bit interesting now. Gavin Holohan, who did get promotion with Hartlepool last season in the playoffs through penalties, he's going to come off, the 30-year-old. He was only signed on a free in March, so only 2-3 months ago. And he'll be replaced by Tristan Abrahams, joined on loan in January from Carlisle. They bag 3 goals in 20 League 2 appearances for Carlisle before joining National League side Grimsby, where he scored 4 goals, 3 of them in the last 2 months. Both come on as substitutes in both playoff games so far for Grimsby. So like I say, they've got striker Diaz-Arue and Tristan Abrahams on now. And Tristan Abrahams he's only 23. He was meant to have a really bright future, the highest level he's ever played League 2. But back in 2017, Norwich City bought him at the age of 19 for a reported £250,000. And it just didn't work. He didn't get any first team appearances. And like I say, he didn't get in the first team. And the highest league he's played at is League 2. So he had such a bright future. But he could be getting in behind here. On the left-hand side in the box, not sure if he's onside. The linesman's kept his flag down. It deflects to Diaz-Arue. Good tackle by Kyle Storer. And Tristan Abrahams nearly coming up clutch straight away for Grimsby. Not to be. As Grimsby have a throw in here on their left-hand side. Tristan Abrahams nearly coming on straight away and making a difference. If you are new, please like and subscribe. We are getting closer and closer to finding out who will be joining Stockport County in League 2 next season. But this game has been fantastic. It's been end-to-end. Not a cagey game at all. Luke Waterfall has it for Grimsby in their own half. Gets it forward to Arjan Reiki. Takes on Sabara nicely. Good energy from the midfielders. Come on before extra time. Took too long to release it though. He's been pickpocketed and Solihull try and get away. They played it to Sabara on the left. Back out wide to the right-hand side to Danny Newton. It's a heavy ball asking a lot of Barnett. Can't keep it in. Arjan Reiki is a lucky boy. He took on Sabara really well, but then got tackled the next play you tried to take on. The counter-attack was on, should have done better, but Danny Newton's pass out wide to Ryan Barnett really wasn't at the level that he needed to be. Neil Hardley bending down there, take a sip of water, and he did say before the game, one team is going to go home devastated and the other team celebrating. As obvious as that sounds, it is true, because whoever loses this now, coming up so far to extra time, you're going to be absolutely devastated if you don't get promoted. As Andy Smith's sliced ball out for another Solihull throw-in, deep in towards the final third now. It's just before the half-time. Solihull could score. Like I say before, literally on the brink of the end of the first half of the normal 90 minutes, Solihull did score with Kyle Hudlin, as Kyle Storer is down again, really struggling. I think he will come off at half-time. He is 35 years of age, Kyle Storer. Played the full 90 minutes against Chesterfield in the semi-finals. Did miss a few games from November onwards after getting a yellow card, after getting a red card against Chesterfield in a 2-0 loss. Missed 9 games after that red. And then, back taking his duties as captain. And could we see a long throw-in for Solihull Moors? We are. Goes towards Callum Howe, who does flick it on. Waterfall has to cut out in the 6-yard box away for a corner. No one really around him, so if the keeper could have communicated to him, maybe the keeper could have come and collected, but Waterfall was taking no prisoners, no risks. And a corner it is for Grimsby just before the end of the first half of extra time. In swinger, Harry Boys has it, the left back. In it goes, in swinger towards the near post, well dealt with by Andy Smith, taken away from Alex Gudger, the centre half. I think there's been a free kick given to Ben Fox, who must have been involved in some pushing and shoving for the corner. So Grimsby survive again. And it looks like it's going to be 1-1 going into the second half of this extra time. 15 seconds left until we do hit the 15 minutes that is allocated for the first half of extra time. Luke Waterfall, the captain, trying to get his team motivated to keep going. 1 minute of added on time in extra time. Diaz are away, fouls Callum Howe. He dragged him to the ground, trying to win the header. Like I say, if you could please like and subscribe, it would really help out. I'm trying to get to 1,000 as quick as possible with all you guys in here. If you all subscribe, if you haven't already, it would really help out. And this game deserves everyone subscribing, that's for sure. It's been a great game. Callum Howe was now staying down, the captain. He's struggling as well. Just about getting back to his feet to take the free kick that he won off Diaz Arue. Does look like Grimsby went to a 4-4-2. Diaz Arue and Abrahams up front. And a flat midfield four. Waterfall heads the free kick away. Always far as Kyle Storer. Out wide left to Harry Boys. 10 seconds left of the allocated minute of additional time. 1-on-1 with Maguire Drew. Has to go back to Storer. Pokes it forward. Kneed away by Cropper. Held up by Diaz Arue. Goes to Fox. Works out wide left towards Clifton. Runs out of time for any kind of attack. And it's half time. In extra time, Grimsby Town 1, Solihull Moors 1. They still cannot be separated after 105 minutes of football. What will separate the two sides? We'll have to find out in the second half. It could even be penalty kicks that separates them. But that first half of extra time did lack chances. Not many big talking points. But at this point, I think players are trying to survive the game without getting injured. Many going down with cramp. What a game it's been. Will it continue? Solihull definitely the better team, keeping more of the possession, having a few corners, putting a bit of pressure on the defence of Grimsby, who are having to deal with some long balls and set pieces. A very stop-start first half there, for sure. Like I said, a lot of people, a lot of players struggling to do the full 120 minutes. Because we've got to remember, for these non-league players or players who play, the smaller grounds like definitely Solihull's is, playing on a London stadium, it's a much bigger ground, and having to play 120 minutes on that as well is even harder. But both teams, big team huddles, because this is now the official last push until, it kind of goes into the hands of the football gods. They don't have much more say when it goes to penalties. And people do say anything can happen, which I half agree with, half don't, because players do have the control of what happens for penalties, but it can be a lottery sometimes. It just depends if the keeper goes the right way, if the players are on it and get it on target. Some sky them, some put them wide. So I'm sure the players would rather get it done in normal time, but then I'm sure they'll be scared to lose out in extra time. So it's difficult, it's tense, it's nervy, and we're about to have the last 15 minutes of this game until penalties. One goal could be enough for both sides to win this. I don't think this will end 2-2. I think if someone scores, I think that might be it, but I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, that would cause a lot more drama. Like I said, thanks to everyone who's here. Great numbers for this stream. I didn't really know how this stream was going to do for numbers, because I've not done a National League game before, but it's been fantastic again. Loads of people in. And like I say, if you could all subscribe, that would just really be fantastic. Do you think Grimsby are playing? I don't think they're playing for pens. I just think that they're so tired. I don't think they can really, conjure too many big attacks, to be honest. And I think Solihull just wanted the possession. I think they were keeping the ball really well. They could have been playing for penalties. And I'm not saying they weren't, but I don't think so, because they did bring on a striker for Gavan Holohan, the midfielder, who had a really good game, but he just ran out of steam as well. As we're back underway, Solihull kicking from left to right. Grimsby right to left. Solihull with kick-off. 1-1, 15 minutes to go. Let's see what happens. This Waterfall wins his first header of the extra time second half period on Danny Newton. No changes of note at half time, which I'm shocked about for Solihull, because Kyle Storer, the captain, the 35-year-old, really struggled. And Kyle Storer, the captain, when Grimsby got promoted in 2015-2016 through the playoffs in the National League, he was at Cheltenham, and he played all 46 games of the National League season with Cheltenham to win the title that year in the National League. So he has won this league before. Now he's doing it through the playoffs with Solihull. Barnett, wide right for Solihull. Swinging crossing, Waterfall. Doesn't quite deal with it with a convincing cross, but it does fall to Abrahams, and he lays it off to Ben Fox, so it's landed to a target that he's very happily seen it's fell to. It's now Clifton looking for an over-top ball in behind. Never going to work. Too much on it. Not accurate enough. Falls to McDonnell. Gets it to Storer. Out to the Solihull left back in his own half. Harry Boys. Gudger to his right to Callum Howe, who also helped Lincoln win the National League title in the 2016-2017 season. Callum Howe. He's now racked up over 200 National League appearances. Andy Dallas, can he turn Luke Waterfall? No, he cannot. Concedes the throw in there, Waterfall, but I think he'd much rather concede the throw in than letting Andy Dallas in behind, that's for sure. I need to start the timer, I do apologise. Looks like Solihull Moors are taking control again. It looks like. Ball into the feet of Newton, kicked away by Andy Smith. Ben Fox holds it up, and Clifton takes over and sends the ball over the top, and Tristan Abrahams will really give chase to that because he is fresh off the bench. He's really chasing that down and just about gets it clear there. Solihull Moors, straight to the head of Andy Smith. Ben Fox, I'll turn forward. Gets to the left to Clifton. Through to Abrahams, flicks into Diaz Arue. Fox over the top to Abrahams on the far left here. We'll just about keep it in. Cross, left foot, goes all the way through to, I think that's Storer who has to clear away the captain. And it falls towards the halfway to Luke Waterfall. He brings it down nicely, plays it through to Reiki, the midfielder, on loan from Aston Villa. Replaced John McAtee before extra time. Maguire Drew, the right winger, also a substitute. Swings the ball to the edge of the box, not really controlled well by Clifton, and that allows Maycock to take it and lay it off to his right to Barnett. who's struggling to get a clearance away and just about clears it out of play into the Grimsby technical area. And Solihull will make their second change of the game. We had Danny Newton come on with about half an hour to go with the 90 for Kai Hudlin, who was injured with a facial injury. And now we've got a second substitution. Number 7 will be coming off. Wow, Kyle Storer still on. Joe Sabara, the main man for Solihull Moors, scored 18 goals this season. Got a hat-trick against Eastleigh in the season. Scored 4 in his last 7 before the playoffs. And he'll be replaced by number 15, Callum Riley. Joined on loan from Leyton Orient before the deadline in March of 2022 this season. He will be a free agent come the end of the season. Did come on for 13 minutes against Chesterfield in the semi-finals, Callum Riley. So Joe Sabara, the man who got the assist for Kyle Hudlin for the only Solihull Moors goal, is replaced. It's into the hands of McDonnell after a head forward by Clifton towards Diaz-Uruguay. He's not quite hit his target. We've just got over 10 minutes left until penalties. These teams still cannot be torn apart. McDonnell, kick upwards, flicked on by Newton. All as far as Grimsby right back, Jordan Cropper. Deep inside his own half, so they'll have to work from the back here, Grimsby. They've gone back to goalkeeper Max Crocombe. Slams the ball forward up towards Abrahams. Doesn't win the header on Callum Howe, but that header does fall to Harry Clifton from Grimsby, of Grimsby. Tackled there. Clark's gone down after a tackle he made. Harry Clifton is been at Grimsby. Since the age of 10. In 2008, Harry Clifton, he is Grimsby through and through. From that throw-in that Clark conceded with his tackle means Grimsby have a long throw-in, and they beat Wrexham in the 119th minute with a long throw-in. And it's from Cropper, who puts this one in. It's a long throw. It's flicked on by a Solihull man, and he's put in at the far post. Maguire Drew may have won it for Wrexham. Or for Grimsby. Oh! Flicked on by a Solihull man to the far post. Dallas is the man who scored all the goals for Solihull this season. Flicks it on the wrong way, back towards his own goal. And Maguire Drew on as a substitute before extra time. From a couple yards out. Puts it into the roof of the net in front of the Grimsby fans. And what a journey just this playoff campaign's been for Grimsby. And they've done it again from a long throw-in. In it went, flicked on by Andy Dallas the wrong way. And at the far post, Maguire Drew lost his man. Substitute as well, Callum Riley was the man looking after him. Lost him. And Grimsby are under 10 minutes away from League 2 football. Long throw-in again. You can't beat a long throw-in. Seriously. Proper weapon for Grimsby, and it's give them the lead. They've turned this game around. I do apologise. I said Wrexham when they scored. It's just we were talking about the long throw-in against Wrexham just before, so that was obviously stuck in my head, so I do apologise. Obviously Grimsby scored because Wrexham aren't playing in this game. But from the long throw-in, flicked on by Dallas. Instead of heading it away, he headed it back towards his own goal, and at the far post, Maguire Drew was the one most lively to it. Just could only poke it into the roof of the net. He couldn't really miss. He was that close. We're back underway. Diaz-Uruguay. He's usually the man who scores the goals in extra time for Grimsby. Goes back to Danny Amos. Long ball up to Callum Howe. Headed away as far as Clifton. Runs out of room. But it's come off a Solihull man last, actually. Be a throw in for Grimsby. Last roll of the dice, it will be for Solihull. Change. Callum Maycock will come off. And Oh no, I think it's Mark Ellis to come on. They only had one attacking substitute, really. Solihull, and that was Danny Newton. Callum Riley's a midfielder. Other than that, they've got 2 centre-halves and a goalkeeper. So they haven't really got attacking changes to bring on. Solihull win it back from the Grimsby throw-in. Riley out to the left. To Boys. Chops past Maguire Drew, who could be the goal scorer, the winner. Flicked on by Howe towards Danny Newton. Or Dallas, sorry. Tackle fairly. Luke Waterfall brings it away. Ball over the top. No one's there. Tristan Abrahams gave a late chase to it, but he was never going to reach. What a turnaround. Grimsby could be on their way. On the halfway line. They get it forward. Up towards Andy Dallas, who's at fault for the goal. Struggling with cramp. Andy Dallas. There's a break. He gets it. Takes it away from Solihull, and it can be cleared by Cropper. Only had a play for a Solihull throw-in. Who don't look like they've got anything left. Switch out to Barnett. What a ball. Really well brought down by the Solihull man on the right. Gets a crossing towards the far post. It had the goalkeeper backtracking, but he was able to catch it and he's fell onto it. And he will waste as much time as possible here as Grimsby in the quarterfinals of the playoffs took it to extra time, won it late. It's Wrexham in the semi-finals, took it to extra time, won it late. In the final against Solihull Moors, they took it to extra time, won it not as late as the previous two, but won it pretty late on. And I think this might be game over for Solihull. I just don't think they have the physicality to do it. Another change. They're going to use all 4 of their outfield players because it's extra time, I think. Or was it concussion sub? I think because they had a concussion substitute with Kyle Hudlin, they now can have an extra sub, so they can use 4 substitutes. And they've just stuck on every outfield player they have. It's now Reece McNally on for Andy Dallas, who just could not play on, even though he's their top goal scorer, 19 in the league this season. 20 if you include the game against Chesterfield in the playoffs. He wasn't able to continue, so they've just stuck their tallest players on, Mark Ellis and Reece McNally, the 2 centre-backs they've brought on. They're 6'3" and 6'2", so they just put height on. They're just sending their centre-backs forward to try and save this game, save their season. Falls to Maguire Drew after a header away from Mark Ellis, who is playing at the back. So it's Mark Ellis and Alan Gudger, and Alex Gudger playing in the 2 centre-back roles, and Callum Howe has gone from centre-back to striker to play up front with Reece McNally, the centre-half, who's just got height. Up it goes to Callum Howe. He does head it to his right, but no one's there for Solihull. It's now Grimsby again. Number 15, Clifton, who's been my man of the match. I think he's been fantastic. Just not stopped down that Grimsby left. Cropper. Down the line it goes to Abrahams. Holds it up against Ellis. On the right-hand side. Going towards the corner flag. Solihull try and take it. They can't get it off Abrahams. They do win a throw-in, though. In the end, Mark Ellis does kick it off Abrahams last. Thanks, everyone who's here. Before the end of this video, make sure you like and subscribe before you go. Now McDonald. 3 minutes to go, plus any added on time the referee decides to give. James Clark. Clark gets it forward with a long ball, straight to the right foot of Andy Dallas, who volleys out for a throw-in for Solihull. Grimsby fans in full voice, taking over 13,000 fans to the London Stadium. Diagonal switch for Solihull, up towards Barnett, loses out to Clifton. Abrahams will give chase. Mark Ellis gets there over clearance. Down the line for Solihull, kept in by Barnett to James Clark, the right back. They need to get it forward here, Solihull. Out to Barnett, the right winger. Down the line it goes to McNally, the centre-half, who's gone down the right wing. Does win a throw-in for his side because it came off a Grimsby man last in Danny Amos. Throwing taken quickly to Clark, the right back. Forward it goes to McNally, the centre half. Makeshift striker. Turns nicely, works it back out to Barnett. Left foot. Digs it in. Header won by Waterfall, the captain. Brought down by Storer, the Solihull captain, as they have 90 seconds plus added on time to try and save their season. McNally, the centre half, holds it up back to goal. Works it to the winger. Barnett, in it goes. Header won by Smith. Over to the edge of the box to Storer again. Out the left-hand side they go this time to Boys. 1-1 with Maguire Drew, the man who could be the winner. Low cross in, dealt with at the front post by Cropper. And Maguire Drew wins a throw-in the corner flag for his side. Minute to go. They take that throw in long down the line from Jordan Cropper. Flicked on by Diaz-Arue. And it's to Abrahams, who will get there ahead of Ellis, the centre half. Will he aim towards the corner flag or will they go for another goal? Abrahams holding it up, bringing Arjan Rake into play. Misplaces the pass. That's a lazy pass from the Aston Villa loanee. And a free kick for Solihull. And a yellow card as well. I think that's Ben Fox, who tried to recover the situation by stopping the Solihull counter. I think this will be it. It's quite deep inside the Solihull half. But they're just going to have to launch this through their goalkeeper here. Oh, he's taking it short to James Clark at right back. Across it goes. We'll have additional time. Some of it. I don't know how much yet. Ball towards the left. Chested down here by Ellis, the centre half, playing in the left wing role. Twisting, turning, playing it inside. Newton, the striker, clips it in towards Gudger. Headed, not far away. Oh, Barnett lifts it in. The keeper catches. What a catch that is. 2 minutes have added on time. The keeper falls to the ground, and that could be it. Neil are the third place finish, least losses in the league. 87 points, yet they could be stumbling at the playoff hurdle. Max Crocom's gone down with cramp, the Grimsby goalkeeper. This will be time added on. Like I say, the referee will add this on. As Wales have taken a 1-0 lead against Ukraine. Who scored? You guessed it. Gareth Bale is the man who scored it. So if you could all please like and subscribe before you go, it would really help me out. Looks like Max Crocombe is really struggling with cramp here. The referee has told Callum how the Solihull makeshift striker that he is adding it on. Was it a Yarmolenko own goal? Okay, that's not come through for me yet. It's come through as a Bale goal. So if that's the fact, it's Yarmolenko own goal. I will hold my hands up. It says Bale free kick, but it may have deflected off Yarmolenko. Crocombe, in the end, does get this game back underway. 15 seconds left of the added on time as the ball goes all the way through to Diaz-Arue. Brings it up, holds it up, plays out to Clifton on the left. 10 seconds to go of the 2 minutes, but we'll have more time played because of that Crocombe cramp. It's Clifton in that corner flag. Concedes a free kick. As Abrahams is not getting out of the way here. And eventually they get it underway with McDonnell. And they've stopped the play because he wants to book Abrahams. I don't think Solihull Moors care. And they do get underway here. Like I said, I think we'll play probably towards 33 and a half. So I say we've got about a minute and a bit left. Ellis, long ball forward from the centre half. Headed away by Andy Smith. Up towards Diaz-Arue. Goes down. And that's a free kick. Ben Fox is delighted with the work from Diaz-Arue there. Maguire Drew could be the hero. We have played 33 minutes, but I still think there should be more played with that Crocombe injury. Storer headed back to his goalkeeper, and that is it. The referee blows for full time. Grimsby have got their glory days back once again. They only needed one season in the National League to get straight back to League Two. They did it the hardest way possible through the playoffs. Every game, quarters, semi-finals, and the final, all in extra time, but all won in extra time. Didn't need penalties, and they are through to League Two. Maguire Drew is the man who got the goal in extra time to get Grimsby promoted. Heartbreak for Solihull, with their season coming to an end. An end that they didn't want, an end that they'll have to put up with as they are in the National League again for another season. But Grimsby Town and Paul Hurst, he's done it once again. Grimsby were in non-league from 2010 to 2016, promoted back to the Football League with Paul Hurst even that many years ago. And once again, fast forward to 2022, Paul Hurst is the man to get them promoted through the playoffs. They didn't do it the hard way. But sometimes the hard way is the most rewarding. And that reward is back to League Two. Maguire Drew in the 111th minute of the game is the difference between Grimsby going to League Two and Solihull staying in non-league for another season. Did look like Solihull with a team taking over in the extra time period. It looks like Grimsby were really running out of steam, but they won it, and they won it through a long throw-in. They beat Wrexham 5-4, and that fifth goal to win it was a long throw-in. And once again, Jordan Cropper, the right back, long throwing in, flicked on towards his own goal by Andy Dallas. And at the far post, he nicked in behind. And Jordan Maguire Drew, signed from Woking earlier on in the season, is the man to get them to the Football League. It's delighted for Grimsby. Just off the playoffs alone, you must say they deserve it. In the quarterfinals, they looked down and out. They were losing 1-0 in the 95th minute to Notts County, but a 96th minute equaliser got them to extra time. 119th minute winner got them to the semi-finals against Wrexham. And against Wrexham, that game is a game that will always be remembered. And they won that 5-4, which gave them this opportunity now. And into the Football League they go. They only needed one season to go back up. That's all it took for them. And a side that's mixed with age, a lot of youth, but a lot of experience for Grimsby. Like I say, it's heartbreak for Solihull. But Paul Hurst has got them promoted again from this level. He never lets them down. What a crazy end to the season for the Mariners. Great jubilant scenes there on Jubilee weekend for Grimsby Town as they begin to lift their manager in the air. And again, even in the final, they did it the hard way. They were 1-0 down right before half-time, which can knock a lot of teams' confidence going into a second half. 46th minute, Kyle Hudlin headed home for Solihull Moors. And then in the second half, John McAtee, their main man, their goal scorer, scored against Wrexham in the semi-finals, bagged 14 league goals in the 44-game campaign before the playoffs. And 20 minutes to go, he scored to make it 1-1. Then in the extra time, it looked bound for penalties. Well, Wrexham had other ideas. Long thrown from Cropper. Flicked on by Dallas. Prodded home by Maguire Drew. And John McAtee, Maguire Drew, will be playing in the Football League next season. Unbelievable scenes. Really is. What a game. Just do want to quickly apologise for saying Wrexham when Grimsby scored their winner. That will really annoy me when I listen back to how I sounded. Like I said, we were talking about Wrexham, their long throw against Wrexham in the semi-final. Then Wrexham just was in my head, and I just said it by accident. So I do apologise for that. But what a game. Really was. Really, really good. Good advertisement that for the National League. Even though it was only 1-1 and 2 goals, it was end to end. It was not a cagey game at all. Really wasn't a cagey game. Both teams constantly going for it, constantly trying to create chances and score goals, and that's why they were all so tired come the end of the 120 minutes and extra time, because they put so much into it. But Grimsby are the team that have reaped the rewards. Score prediction: Wales, Ukraine. What score is it now? I think it's 1-0 at half time, isn't it? Has there been a red card? I thought there'd been a red card. Wales, Ukraine. I'll go 2-1 Wales. Yeah, it's been changed to a Yarmolenko on goal now. What was the other question? And who's winning the Premier League next season? City. Erling Haaland, you just no chance. I can't see anyone else winning it. But for me, that's going to be the end of the commentary and the end of the commentaries for this season, especially club anyway. I don't think I'll be doing any international games during the international break. If I do so, make sure you like, subscribe, notifications on, so if I do another one, then you are notified and you'll know. But yeah, this is the end of the commentaries for the 2021-2022 season. Unbelievable season again. Can't wait for next season to start. Great way to end it. 2-1 Grimsby. What a time. Thanks to all the people giving positive comments. I really do appreciate that. But that'll be the end of the commentary for today. So I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe. Before you go, Solihull reap the rewards of an early goal in the first half, but they couldn't hold on. Grimsby are going up. They're back in the Football League. Extra time is their best friend. They're in League 2. How will they fare? Back in the Football League.